Are we live?
The Dos Equis virus.
We are live, yeah. The Dos Equis.
Sorry, it's a stupid
The
joke.
Equis.
I
have this.
The coronavirus.
Okay. This goes away. That goes like this.
No, Mike, you can't plug.
This
Yeah.
again.
I thought about that too.
The tweet is out because I remembered.
The
Now this-
tweet is out.
Okay. All right, I am going to start.
Are you?
Yeah.
Start what? I'm sorry, what are we doing here?
Please shut up. 3, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, Webisode 756, the Shinotic Podcast. The Go Nintendo Podcast is part of the Greenlit Podcast Network at greenlitpodcast.com. Oh, 2 weeks in a row, I got it right. For the first 2 weeks, I couldn't say it correctly. I don't know why. Mom Brain. Nikki Hill, you're allowed to talk.
Oh,
now.
I can talk now?
I can see it hurting you. Mom Brain,
What a
Yes.
jerk!
would you tell us about Shinotic, please?
Can you throw up the nobody cares?
It's my
about
favorite.
No one cares about me.
My favorite Madonna song.
Shinotic.
Shinotic, Shinotic.
Oh, it took me a minute.
I don't know.
Shinotic.
Something all over my body.
Ugh.
That's it.
Yeah, she put out that album, Shinotica.
I like to read Shirotic literature. Mom Brain, let's go.
Sure thing, my pleasure. Forests where
Your
Shinotic live
pleasure.
are treacherous to enter at night. People confused by its strange lights can never find their way home again, sort of like the New Jersey Turnpike. They're 25 and change pounds. Their category is illuminating, and their abilities include effect, spore, and illuminate.
Wait, so they cost
Iridocyclitis.
they cost just over 25 pounds. Is that what you're saying?
Well, see, Nikki Hill over in the UK, they use
They purchase their Pokemon
they-
instead of catch them.
they price things based on how much they weigh. So something weighs 25 pounds, then it is priced at $25.
That's not how it works.
That's it. Yep. It's being confirmed in the chat right now. Speaking of the chat,
That's a lie.
you're in the wrong chat. Hello.
That's cool. That's cool guy Yoshi.
Autumnal.
Oh man, check out Yoshi in that room. He lives like you.
I think
he just
it was-
leaves his empty juice bottles sitting all around the room.
I think it was Dew Michaels who was saying, boy, that Nikki Hill sure interrupts a lot. And the best part is he gets mad when you interrupt him. And I say, yes, I know.
I'm sorry. Do Michaels said that?
Hi to Dew Michaels, who is a regular listener every
Yeah.
week now.
Yeah, he texted me a few days ago, and he was like mad at me for like
I bet I know what.
I don't even remember the details, but I think I like outed him as being like a cheater.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We were having a conversation about how he cheats at games.
Was it the Uno bit from
and I said-
New Year's Eve that night?
He just said to me very quickly, like, you guys think I'm a cheater. And I said, you'll have to refresh my memory because I don't remember like the exact discussion on the podcast.
Was it about games or was it
What
about
you
like the
did.
music trivia?
Well, we were just talking about games in general, which was what we were
cheated
referencing.
on me, and he ruined my love.
The music trivia, because he's
One-
notorious for cheating on the music trivia.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's warranted. It's true.
Well, is that what I was talking about on the podcast?
That's what the discussion was.
Okay.
Yes, we were all talking about that.
Well,
Hello,
yeah.
Joe is cool.
Okay,
Thanks.
well then yes, he's definitely a cheater when it comes to that.
Joe is cool says
And
joining the
I'm not
podcast
gonna
live
apologize.
for the first time in a long time. Hello, friends. Hello. Now
Hello.
let me go
Welcome
through the
back.
chat. Hello, Joe is cool, and Autumnal Lake, and Hiley and Tom, and Shillelagh, and Freddie Fro, and Lanquin, and Double D, and Giant Reggie, and Ridley Saria, and Mom Brain. Hi, Mom Brain.
Hi.
And Alien Boy VA, and Dre Gamer, and whoever else I didn't see in there. Thanks for joining us. I'll make sure I say hellos as I see more people come in. But yeah, here we are. We're doing it.
I'll make sure I say hellos. Hellos.
Now, also last week
We're doing it live.
we had
sorry.
the podcast went completely fine. No live stream issues.
Because I wasn't here.
I think it was because of the internet, so I'm wired in directly. But if it goes wrong this week,
And
then
by
we
the
know it's
internet,
you.
he
Yeah,
means
because you weren't.
I take up too much bandwidth.
All right. We got some things to
I
talk
think
about.
someone's living in our shed. The door is open.
No, that. Were you in there?
No.
She's sitting
someone
right
was-
next to you.
If someone was living in the shed,
They'd be chilly.
they would close the door. They wouldn't want you to know that they're in there.
No,
they
they
might
went
be
out.
out. Yeah.
Just out
Oh,
for the
we
day.
did in the chat last week.
Foraging for beans.
Freddie
or
Fro brings
berries.
beans, foraging for beans, wild
That
beans.
sounds like a euphemism for something.
Freddie Fro brings up the point that last week in the chat we had the spirit of Nikki Hill, which
We
is
did.
very true.
I showed up for a moment.
No, there was the spirit of Nikki Hill and then you.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Not well. Oh, okay. So,
Yes. What?
I didn't know the spirit of myself was there. But
It was here.
But I was also there for a moment
I was also there, which is here.
with my spirit.
All right, we got some things to talk about. First up, soundboard. I believe it was Fred McNanners. I might be wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong. But Fred McNanners sent us in a clip that we said we've been meaning to add to the soundboard, and now it is a part of it. Kirby, it is related to you. First page, you're looking for Cappy. I think I put it in alphabetical order.
Hey, I'm sweaty.
There it is. The hey, I'm sweaty. Now, Doom Michaels was saying he wanted that sound clip on the soundboard, which we all agreed, but he also thinks that your version should be on the soundboard as well. And I agree with that too. So we're going to have to do that.
Hey, I'm sweaty.
How long did it take you to find that?
Well, Freddie Fro, or no, not Freddie Fro. Fred McNanners found it and sent it to me
okay,
because I
sorry.
said last week's show, I believe, I said I am going to go on that YouTube video that was like 6 minutes long of every Cappy sound or 9 minutes long and find that damn sound. But thankfully, Fred McNanners
Can
sent
you
it to
say
me.
damn now that you're part of the network?
Say damn, yeah. Can say, nothing changed. Nothing at all changed. Minus, playing the plugs for other shows. But yes, we can still say all our
We can
favorite words.
still say
like
damn and
boobs. I mean, if you're Doom
butthole.
Michaels, you can just let F-bombs fly.
apparently.
So thank you to Fred McNanners for that. Boy, I hope
Hey, I'm sweaty.
I hope it's Fred McNanners because I've said it like 27 times now.
I think
Yes.
it's just McNanner. It's not plural.
McNanners Puss, I think, is his full last name. Lankman says, "Can you say poop fart?" We can say poop fart. Yes, and classics
Well,
like
you can say poop and you can say fart, but you can't say them together.
classics like blood fart red. Yes, we can still say
So-
that.
Blood fart. I watched an episode of Wonder Chosen, and there's like a kid that goes. He's like, it's called Beat Kids or something. It's like a man on the street, but it's a kid, and he's at a place where you like a blood bank or whatever, where you donate blood in New Jersey,
Mhm.
and he's got like that little symbol. It's like a drop of blood, but it's like a little character.
Yes.
He's got that, and he calls him a blood fart.
Oh, I have seen Wonder Shows and I have not.
A lot
seen that.
a lot of the people who created Wonder Shows and
Eileen Tom is a fan.
have had their hand in a lot of other things in Adult Swim and stuff.
Mhm.
So
I would imagine, yeah. Also on the soundboard we have I heard I'm not sure. Well, first let me say this. Hi, Josh Grobot. Thanks for joining us on the show this week. How are you, my friend?
he's in standby mode.
I don't want to be here.
Standard Josh. I heard Josh has learned something new. Maybe we'll hear it during.
Yes, I really did.
Ooh, maybe we'll hear it later. Also, there's something else.
We'll just have to wait and
Okay,
see.
yes,
just have to
Josh,
wait and see what
Josh, we
something
get it.
else was?
Josh, we get it. Also, this parlays into another thing I wanted to talk about. There is a brand new episode of Parents Play, and it is a true return to form because everything recorded correctly. So this week we have the face cam along with the gameplay, and I have to say, I honestly think this is the best episode of Parents Play. It certainly took the most amount of work, I can tell you that. It took over 13 hours to edit this Parents Play, and it's 25 minutes. 25 minutes result for 13 plus hours of work. Come on. But the episode is pretty great. And because the people who watch it are A, big fans of Parents Play, and B, perverts, they wanted me to clip out a specific section of the show. Right in the beginning of the show, I'm talking about how we're returning to Parents Play, and my dad is sighing because he's annoyed, except his sigh sounded way more sexual than annoyed, and everybody was like, please add that to the soundboard.
Like
So,
like the ketchup
Kirby,
bottle.
if you could please play Dad Groan for me.
It sounds like Grum.
That
Sounds like ketchup relax.
Yeah,
Heinz
right.
relax.
Wait. Maze
Wait, did you add some like reverb to that or
No,
something?
that is all him. Nothing
There's like
done
an
to it.
echo to it.
Nothing. Well, we recorded
that
it in that
himself.
room, and I closed the door. Maybe there's a little echo from that, but I promise you, there's no adjustments made to that. He did do a burp during the show that I added echo and reverb to, but just that.
Wow.
But that's a noise that I've heard him make before, like
No,
publicly.
Mom, Brain, please
I mean-
let's not get into that story.
Hiley and
Like,
Tom says it's like Tina from Bob's Burgers. Go ahead, Mom Brain.
just like that, like he makes that noise at a lot of things.
Oh, shoot.
Whoa. Ridley Soria says play Dad Grown and Peach Sigh over and over again. It's too hard because Peach is all the way on the other end. Yeah. We'll have to move Peach's button all the way to the other page.
Wait.
Oh, I saw him hit it twice.
I hate this thing. All right, there we go.
That's terrible. Freddie Fro says when the shoe is just tight enough. So I don't know when the hell we're going to use that one, but whatever.
Never.
The answer is
Please.
all the time.
Gross.
So thank you to those of you who have watched Parents Play. Yes, it is.
I can't wait to hear what Deuce says about that.
It is a.
I bet he's got a problem with it.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's weird for us because we all know you're dead personally. I'm sure, like
Not that.
Don't worry.
for the
It's-
listeners, it's just it's
Yeah,
just
right.
good fun.
Don't worry, it's weird for me too. Hi, Ice Grove. This episode of Parents Play, my parents play Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. And boy, oh
Super
boy,
Monkey
it is a great
Ball
episode.
Banana
And to
Blitz.
toot my own horn, yes, I'm going to toot it. I think I did a really good job editing this time. It's been a while since I did like a full-on Parents Play editing thing. So I put all the tricks I knew in there, and it came out really well. I really liked it. There's one part in particular, I don't want to spoil it. It is another noise my dad makes, but I compare it to a noise from a video game. I'll just say that, and it is perfect.
Meow.
No, it is not that. I'm sorry.
Did anyone play as Gone?
No, it was kept strictly I the whole time.
Okay.
Is that
Autumnal Blake
everybody's
says-
name?
No, there's I, Gon, Mimi.
So everybody's
Baby?
names are duplicates.
Duplicate.
Or like
What are you talking
echoes
about?
of-
Oh, I,
Gon,
Mimi,
Mimi,
Gon. Not baby. Is it baby?
Bebe. It's supposed to be
Baby's
Bebe.
kids, yes. Hi, Roth. Thanks for joining us. Autumnal Blake says this episode of Parents Play is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. No, it's not. He says you nailed it, RMC. Yes, it seems like DD Mega Doo. It does seem like. Well, I mean, everybody that watches Parents Play really loves it and always talks about how much they really enjoy the show. So this episode is the same. But
Autumnal Blake says this is one of the names.
Gon, I, Mimi, baby, and so yeah, check that out if you haven't. I am honestly really proud of that episode. It was a lot of hard work, but I love doing Parents Play, and yeah, it's back regularly. Depending on my schedule, it'll be every week. It might be every 2 weeks. I know we've had 2 in a row this time, but yeah, there's going to be some weeks where I just can't do it. But now I know how I'm recording it, where I'm recording it. It's being recorded for the first time ever on my desktop, so that way I don't have to worry about any hiccups or issues because I record there every day. Everything's fine. So yeah, hello, Ala Wolf. Thanks for joining us. It went really well. Thanks for watching. If you haven't watched it yet, and maybe you've never watched a Parents Play because you're a new listener to the show on the podcast network, you can check out the GoNintendo YouTube channel, or you can check out GoNintendo.com, and there's a link for it. It's my parents playing a game, but it's way more than that. It's way, way more than that. It's basically my mom and my dad like joking around and me joking with them as they play a game. So don't think it's just like 25 minutes of 2 people poorly playing games.
Well,
Yes,
it
Nikki
is,
Hill.
but
I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Say it. No, say it.
Oh, you don't want me to say what
I
was gonna
do.
say. I was going to say maybe you don't want to watch Parents Play because you've had problems with your own parents, but this is different. This is more than
People in the comments have said I could never get my parents to play games, but seeing somebody's parents play games has warmed my heart.
Yeah. that. And not only were you successful in getting your dad to play games, but you're successful in getting your dad to say,
Langwin says there's no actual elder abuse, just simulated. That is correct. Yeah,
That's not true.
a lot of newcomers.
That's not true.
Go on.
I think the way that you treat your father on this digital realm of the internet is pretty abusive. You blast his banter out there.
Yes,
I have to go clean.
There
up.
are people who watch the show for the first time, and I've seen reactions that are like, "Why are you so mean to your parents?" Or how come you guys are all so mean? You know what I saw a lot? How can you call your father or mother dude? That's so disrespectful. And I'm like, dude. I'm like, I mean, you have to learn our family dynamic. There's no
dude, you're not my
meanness to
daddy.
it. There's
Yeah,
no
like,
disrespect at all.
I was having a conversation with Dew Michaels and Vitamin G, like, you know, maybe a month or two ago, about how you have a, you know, your relationship with your parents is very different from the one I have with my parents.
Mhm.
Just because you're, I don't know, a little more casual, and
Oh.
you know, like, for example, like referring to your mother or father as dude. It's not something I've ever really done.
We are extremely casual. It's always been that way. And that goes for extended family too. Like my aunts and uncles, I never have called them aunt so-and-so or uncle so-and-so. It was always just their first name.
No
It's
respect for him.
just no respect. I hate them all.
It's based on a complete lack of respect.
But it
Yeah, we're
makes
just
sense.
very
If-
lax.
if you call everyone dude, you don't ever have to worry about screwing up their name.
Yeah, I mean, like, I call a lot of people dude, or I say dude is like an exclamation. But yeah, saying it to my parents, like, it would
Until
never
you talk
even
to the cat.
cross. Yeah, exactly. It would never even cross my mind as rude. But yes, as you are saying, my relationship with my parents, I guess, is more outside of the norm because we are so casual and have always been that way.
But we all have a relationship with your parents
Yeah,
because your house was the house everybody spent time at.
Yeah.
So I think like they have a familiarity with like your life that maybe other parents don't have with their kids' life.
High cumulative. I've been thinking
That's
about
also
putting a
true.
disclaimer in the beginning of Parents Play saying like
No
our
elder abuse.
relationship.
Making your parents say like in front of the camera that you are nice to
That's
them
like
and
hold,
you
like, a
like
fake
yeah,
gun to their head.
exactly.
Yeah, it's saying like, you know, we actually love each other and have a very loving relationship, but we love to harass each other greatly. So, yeah, it's just funny how that stuff comes across because I would have never thought about that ever until Parents Play started getting comments. And I was like, oh man, some people think we're all terrible people to each other.
Yeah, like I've made fun of my dad before, but probably not to the extent that you make fun of your dad.
Well,
Because my dad's still bigger than me. I'm still intimidated by him.
Aw.
well, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just it has always been like that. I think my parents certainly did parent, but they also, when, you know,
But they
we
also
were
did
hanging
play.
out, we just, I don't know, talk to each other without worrying about like getting in trouble for not saying like ma'am or sir or calling somebody by their name. Or
Well, I mean,
But
none
I
of
was
us
never-
call our parents ma'am and sir.
I was never like disrespectful truthfully, you know, like
Their
whenever
boundary,
we're
you
saying
never
stuff,
cross
we're,
their
we're
boundary.
always joking. But yeah, when it comes to their rules or anything like that, certainly, yeah, never. But
And now I'm wondering if your parents like all of us so much because we actually treat them with the respect that they wish they got from you. Got it.
Think about it.
Shillelagh says, RMC, you mentioned that you'll do a Parents Play of Alien Isolation. Well, more in particular, your dad. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I already told my dad I want him to check that game out.
He's
So
pretty sensitive to scary stuff, isn't he?
he loves Alien. Alien is his favorite movie ever. So he's not going to be able to play the game, but we're going to try. At least he can sit there and watch my mom play. All right. Moving on.
Yeah, what's next?
Speaking of YouTube, because that's where Parents Play is, and that's where this podcast is being streamed right now. I have an announcement. I said on Patreon I have an announcement, or I teased an announcement. Now I will make that announcement on the YouTube channel because it's about YouTube. Can I get a drum roll,
It's not
please?
like a
Yeah.
huge announcement.
Oh, okay. You know what it is?
Yeah.
All right. I thought it was a big deal.
Oh.
Well, that's all right. Never mind. No drum roll. We don't need it. Yep. Well, okay. It's not a big deal, Mom Brain says. The GoNintendo YouTube channel is now officially under the Frederator umbrella.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Sure, nice cover up.
I promise.
Whisper what you thought.
I thought you were gonna talk about
Scissoring?
Scissoring is what I'm getting from this. Yes.
The decision that we made this week.
About TV?
Yeah.
I
Because you said talking about
Oh.
YouTube.
Oh, you
my
guys are cutting
God.
cable.
No, it's about it was about Frederator. Yes,
a big
we are
deal.
after a few months of talks. Jesus Christ. Frederator, which I'm sure is regretting the decision now. We are now this YouTube channel is now part of the Frederator network, so we're going to be under their umbrella. And again, nothing changes. They're just going to help me reach new audiences. And obviously, I hate this cat. Obviously, I'm not going to change the content I make or any of that. All that's clear. So don't worry about it. It's just now we're under Frederator, and I'm super excited about it because I love cartoons and I love Frederator. And Frederator has done a ton of cartoons both on YouTube and on regular TV stations.
Are they going to animate the podcast?
I mean, they have said to me multiple times they are extremely open to any ideas that I have, and I say don't feel afraid to pitch anything, and maybe we can figure something out.
Baby boy.
Can you get rid of this
Dude,
guy,
get off the
please?
table, dude.
Dude, come on.
Come on,
Baby
dude.
boy.
Can they do an animated is it biopic or biopic? Biopic about Raw Meat Cowboy and the rise and
Well,
no, the rise and the continued
No.
rise of GoNintendo.
no.
Who would
Autumnal
play
Blake
you?
says,
Who
is
would play
this-
you in a biopic?
Autumnal Blake says, is this separate from Greenlit Network? Greenlit only does the podcast. So podcast rights go to Greenlit, but anything on the YouTube channel is for Frederator. So since the live streamed version of the podcast is on YouTube, that'll just fall under the umbrella, but I don't think they're going to do anything with it. I don't think that they could. It's just, another video on the YouTube channel. But yes, I'm very excited about that. So thank you to Frederator, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. They're going to teach me how to be a better YouTuber. So it's going to be like, hey, what's up, guys? It's your dog, RMC.
It's your boy.
This video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends and Honey. Hit that notification bell. I make new videos
that
every
like
day.
button.
Smash that like button. Look at my parents' totally genuine reaction to Super Monkey Ball, and then lots of groaning. Adventure
YouTube
Time.
drama.
Yes, it's going to be. Yes, I should say that we're changing the channel into completely YouTube drama.
And there's going to be at least one breakup video a month.
So that's that. And as Mom Brain said, yes, we cut the cord on our cable.
Well, that's a big
provider.
deal. Come on.
We are no longer watching TV on Comcast. Well, technically we are. We're using their internet, but we got rid of our package, like our
Ew.
cable box package, because it was ridiculously expensive. So yes, Mom Brain, that was the not announcement that you wanted me to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a long time coming.
Okay, you know what's a long time coming?
The news!
Can I get some news button jingle music, please? I
That's
don't know what that was.
like the
Yeah.
like not eyewitness news, but like
Newsroom.
the newsroom sound. Can you get that to play?
Just. No, I can't.
It's from The Simpsons, right?
This is. Oh boy. Do I want to start off with this? Masahiro Sakurai has done an interview for the Iwata-san book, which is all about Iwata. It was a 5-part interview. And in the interview, he talks about, obviously, his time with Iwata, working alongside Iwata. And I'm just going to point you to this article rather than get into the details here. He talks about basically the final moments of Iwata, if you would like to read about that from his point of view and his interactions and how he feels about the man. So it's a bit of a downer, but it's important to read. So if you have the time, you should go over and check that out. All right, let's go on to some more fun stuff. There's this guy, Joe. How do I say this name? You can't say this name. Jahoni Lundstedt. He was an art director on Mirror's Edge, Catalyst, and Battlefield 5. So he used to
Just say
be
Johnny for just to make
Johnny Poo Poo Pants. He used to be at DICE, but he's no longer at DICE anymore because he's moved over to Retro. He said, today was my last day at DICE, and it's with mixed feelings. I'm leaving something that's been a part of my life for such a long time. It's been a great journey, and I feel privileged to have got the chance to work with all the talented people at DICE, and you will be missed. Now I'm ready for a new chapter in my life and looking forward to my new journey at Retro Studios. So, Mr. Johnny was an art director at DICE, and all the way back in December 2018, Retro posted a job listing for an art director. So while it is not confirmed, it does seem like this guy is taking on that role.
It only took a year to get him there. Huh?
Obviously, he's going to be working on Metroid Prime 4.
You think, though?
Yeah, I think so. I personally think so. I do not have confirmation, but yes, I think so. First comment comes from Autumnal Blake, and he says, now we wait to find out if they had something in the works before Metroid Prime 4. Perhaps we'll never know. Perhaps we will never know. I've heard plenty of rumblings about what they did. But yes, unless they feel like talking, and Nintendo doesn't exactly like to let people talk, we'll never know. Nintendo's president, Shuntaro Furukawa, did a Q&A following the investor briefing from last week. And as I said, that's usually held to cover because there's 2 weeks of information afterwards, because you get the Japanese translation from fans and then the English translation from Nintendo themselves, which has finally come out. And in one of those questions, Mr. Furukawa is asked about how he feels about competition coming from from Microsoft and Sony with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which I still don't know what I'm really supposed to call, because Xbox says it's not called the Xbox Series X, although they debuted it as the Xbox Series X. So apparently we're just supposed to call it Xbox, which is dumb, blah, 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 blah. He was asked about how he feels about the competition coming up from then and what it's going to do to Switch. He says, I think there will be certainly a change in the environment as new products of our competitors appear. We do not believe that the business trends of other companies will have a significant impact on our business. So he says, yeah, I know the stuff's coming out, but we're not really worried about it. Autumnal Blake says, I think there's definitely some truth to that. There's one type of gamer that isn't going to care about graphics and will get a system based on the games, and the more graphics focused players are more likely than most to own multiple systems. Yeah, I can see how it's both true and not true, and exactly for those reasons. The Wii did totally fine up against the competition of the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I know that, well, Jesus, I don't remember the order that those systems released, but yes, when they were all on the market together, the Wii still did phenomenally well. And yes, the Wii might have been a more unique situation because of motion controls and how big they caught on at first. But the Switch is doing great, and I think the Switch will maintain most of its momentum. Obviously, it's not going to maintain all of it forever. But yeah, the Switch is doing more than fine. The Switch resonates with people, and the Switch will have the price point going for it when compared to the Xbox Series X and PS5. So I definitely think it will have some impact, but overall, I believe Nintendo is right. We're not going to see those two new systems come out and Switch absolutely fall apart, because Switch has a much bigger library of games. As I said, Switch is cheaper. And when those systems come out, if you're going to buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5, you would imagine at launch to spend anywhere, I would say, in between $400 to $600 if you're going to get the system and one game. You're going to fall somewhere in that range. There's no way the PS5 or Xbox Series X is going to launch at $300. That's not happening. Yes.
Okay.
You look like you had something really insightful to say.
Just trying to listen.
Well, thanks. I appreciate
Trying
it.
to tune in a little early.
I appreciate it. Just tuning in. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting, but I'm sure Nintendo's got some stuff.
Wait, what's going to be interesting?
There we go. I'm sure
Sorry,
Nintendo's got some
I
stuff.
wasn't listening.
2 peas in a pod. I'm sure Nintendo has some stuff up their sleeves to be to make the Switch a more enticing platform when those systems are launching later this year. We still don't know what the big holiday game is going to be for Switch. And it's only February.
I tried to cover my yawn from the camera, but it still couldn't see that.
Hopefully we can get a screenshot of that. Yeah, we don't know what the big holiday game is going to be. Is it going to be Breath of the Wild 2? Because we know that's in the works.
No, you think that's going to come out this year?
Oh,
It
that's
could.
Nice. That's a
Oh,
really
it's a
nice
good screen cap. It's a good screen cap.
How did you do that?
Because
This guy's sitting there
it's
with
good.
his hand on the trigger, man.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say Breath of the Wild 2 will be next year, but I won't say it's outside of the realm of possibility. Bayonetta 3 could be this year, perhaps. That's been in
That's-
development for a long time.
That's not a big holiday game.
That's not possible. Why not?
Mm.
I mean, I think if people were looking at games releasing,
I've got something to talk about.
I've got music.
You want to hear?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that
Talk
what I
about it.
sound like?
I don't know if you're going to talk about it.
No,
The
you're going to talk
Wonderful
about it.
101.
I am going to talk about it.
Oh wait.
And I'm going to talk about something you don't even know about.
Oh yeah.
Mom
Try
already
me.
knows.
Try me.
So a
Let me
long
guess.
time ago,
You're going to be in the game.
there was this
You're the 102.
movie, and it was called Super Mario Brothers the movie.
Can we talk about that?
And a young raw meat cowboy watched the commercials on TV and saw articles in game magazines and was like, this is going to be the greatest movie of my life ever. And then I went to the theater and I saw the
Did you go to
movie with my
Washington to see
parents, both dudes. And yeah, probably. I don't remember what theater. And I remember sitting in the theater thinking, this isn't anything like Mario at all. And then there's a scene where Mario's riding a mattress down a storm drain or a pipe or whatever. And I was like,
And you thought, yeah, this is more like it.
that was the moment where I was, yeah, exactly. I was like, now this is a Mario movie. At that moment, I was like, yeah, I don't think I like this movie. Now, as the years went on, I grew to appreciate it for how bad it is. I do not think it's a good movie. I do not think it's a good Mario movie either.
Can we
but
say that Bob Hoskins was?
I believe he said it was his
perfectly
favorite
cast?
role.
Yeah, no, well, no. He said it was his worst thing he's ever
He
done.
definitely said he loved it.
But he was perfectly cast. He looks great. I was actually looking this up yesterday. No joke. Not connected.
Time for my daily search on the Super Mario Brothers movie.
No. What was it? Oh, somebody mentioned Bob Hoskins, and I looked up that because
Somebody mentioned Bob Hoskins, and you were like, "Oh, the guy from the Mario movie." Its most famous role.
Yeah. What else? How else would you say?
How else would you say?
How-
I would say the guy from Roger Rabbit. If I was gonna
Somebody
pick a
else said
movie.
Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shave and a haircut.
So, but I looked it up, and yes, giant jumpy boots are really strange. It's a weird direction to go in. But if you're trying to make like a Super Mario, tell a Super Mario story in like a real world that deals with a portal to another dimension and dinosaurs that have evolved into humans, you're gonna have to give them the power to jump somehow. So giant super boots are the way to go.
That is the problem right there. Why did they have to make it a real world thing? That was a real
Hey,
trend for movies for
all
a
these-
while.
For a while, let's look at all these new superhero movies that are coming out, and they're like everything is like plausible. Or the series that are on Netflix, things are plausible. You have a villain that reads minds, and in the comics, he's a giant purple dude. In this, he just wears a purple suit. You see what they did there?
I mean, just shut up.
What was the theory that we came up with, or somebody in the chat or something came up with about which one?
This is a good story.
Which one was which is Mario's original form, small Mario or
Yes,
big Mario?
that was a question
And-
proposed
but,
by someone.
But we related it to the movie and how the Goombas were weird looking in the movie.
I believe you did, yes.
I did. I don't know if I did.
I know. Every time I tell you did something, you're like, I don't know if I did that.
Yeah, especially if it makes sense. I know I didn't do that.
Lanquin says Sonic is doing that. Yes, they're bringing Sonic into the real world.
Yeah.
Of course.
Makes sense. By the way, I think it's incredible how just by changing the character model, that movie actually looks like palatable. Like
I'm going to say the movie
Valentine's Day movie of the year.
doesn't look that bad.
But it looked terrible
It did.
before. And all they had to do was change the model, and they put out a different edit of the trailer, and it's like, wow, this still
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, but it makes more sense than meow.
It shows you the power of editing. Yeah, it's it doesn't look that bad. Now every time I see somebody talking about it, I'm like, is it gonna be okay? It could be okay.
No one cares about me.
Just watched a video yesterday about how someone was saying still the greatest video game movie is Mortal Kombat. That movie is fun. That movie, while not without blood and guts, still follows like the story, the basic story of Mortal Kombat, and pays respect to its characters. It has some funny dialogue in it. Johnny Cage is a jerk. I think that movie's
my
good.
favorite thing about that movie is Johnny Cage.
I think that it's got Muppet Goro. What do you not like about that?
It's got some amazing CGI.
Yeah, I honestly think
circa 1995.
I don't know.
What about Double
I don't
Dragon?
know if I want to say it's a good movie. You know what? I'll say it's a good movie. I'll say it's a fun movie. I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10.
Did we watch Double Dragon for a movie?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Many years ago. And that was the first time I saw it. Hello, Joe. Thanks for joining us. And it was terrible. Yes, but I haven't seen Detective Pikachu, Giant Reggie, so that might be the one.
That's
yeah,
on
yeah.
Netflix.
Hi, Blood Ocean 07. Thanks for joining us.
HBO. It's on HBO.
Are we hyped for the Sonic movie?
I wouldn't say I'm hyped.
I wouldn't say I'm hyped.
No.
I'm interested to see what happens with it. I'll give it that.
I wouldn't even
I
say
asked a
that.
couple friends if they wanted to go see it on Valentine's Day, and
I'll go.
No
Me
one
and you,
wants
let's
to
go.
Are we
We'll
doing
both put
podcasts
holes in
on-
the bottom
on
of the old
Valentine's Day?
popcorn and have a grand old time.
Meow.
Not the
That's-
I thought I was going to get
that's-
for that statement.
That's to regulate how much popcorn we eat. right?
Yeah, exactly. But don't worry, Nikki Hill. I put the popcorn regulation hole in the bottom of the little bucket. So anyway,
Oh man.
yeah, Super Mario Brothers movie. That situation, that whole thing was such a bad experience for Nintendo that they were like, "Well, we're never doing movies ever again." Because Nintendo was, I don't think wanted to be very hands off with that movie, but ended up being very hands off with that movie and didn't have a lot of input. So they were like, "Nope, we're never doing that again because it's garbage." Well, it took all these years, but they're finally doing another movie, and they're doing it with Illumination, the Minions people, among other things. And it's also animated, which is very important to point out because I think an animated Mario movie has a much better chance of being good than a live action one.
Here's something though.
And Shigeru Miyamoto talked about why he's finally okay with doing a new Mario movie.
Okay, I'll let you talk.
Thank you. And he says,
After I say this,
regarding Nintendo has
For us
re-released
to understand.
many games via Virtual Console. Our assets are our software, and even 30 years on, they are still active. However, unfortunately, when the original hardware compatible with the software is gone, we have no choice but to port it onto new hardware. After experiencing this process of bringing older software onto new hardware many times, I began to consider that our content business would be able to develop even further if we were able to combine our long-beloved software with that of video assets and utilize them together for extended periods. Basically, it's not that I want to make a Mario movie, but that I began to consider that we should bring more Nintendo content into the field of video making. With films, the amount of people who would contact our IP would widen and increase the amount of people engaging with our IP. Then we'd be able to further increase the spread of our media via video.
so I feel like he just confirmed that this movie is just going to be recordings of people doing speed runs in the original Super Mario.
That's what it is. Yeah, animated. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, the speed runs from the original Mario Brothers. Oh no, that's from the Wizard. Sorry,
No, just the speed runs from
No.
the original
No.
game.
they did Mario speed runs in the Wizard though. That would make more sense.
No, did they? No, they didn't.
Yeah, they were in a tournament. At
That's
the,
the
end of the
best
movie.
video game movie.
Now, see, that's another movie I would say is legitimately good. I like
Heck
that
yeah.
movie.
Heck yeah. Deals with important things.
That might be better than Mortal Kombat.
It's got Lucas.
but it's not a video game
uses the
movie.
Power Glove.
It's a movie about video games.
Lucas, right?
Yeah, it's not a video game movie. It's just a movie about video games.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it is good. So yeah, I have
That movie was 100% only made to be a commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3.
yeah, I mean,
And the Power
a
Glove.
lot of things like that still exist today. I have
Like Detective Pikachu.
little doubt that
That movie was only there to highlight Ryan Reynolds' voice acting talent. It's true.
there you go. It's gone. Now I honestly forgot it. I really did.
The
Oh,
Wizard.
I was going to say the Mario animated movie. I have very little doubt that it's going to be a good movie. Like I'm sure they're going to make that an excellent movie after their terrible Mario Brothers movie experience. So I'm sure they're
Hey, I was ready.
Nintendo's putting a lot of time into it, and Nintendo is working very closely with Illumination and Universal to get that movie the way they want it to be. So
Now, do you think they're going to have? So now we have Mario versus Rabbids. What is that game?
Mario and Rabbids,
And
they work
Rabbids.
together.
God, do you think they're going to include Rabbids in this Mario movie because the minions are the exact same?
I
thing
need
as
to know.
Rabbids?
So I need to know who's patient zero for that. Who is the man or woman that stole Rabbids and turned them into minions? Because that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Someone did it.
They cut off their ears.
That's
and
exactly it.
they
Yeah.
threw yellow paint on them.
What if they don't have ears and some of them have one eye and that's it? Yep, that's it. But they act the same. Yeah, that's it. Somebody did it. Somebody did it, and they haven't spoken.
Yeah.
Autumnal Blake says, if we had better virtual console on the Switch, maybe we wouldn't be getting a Mario movie full of minion toads. We haven't seen anything of the movie yet. We don't know what it's going to look like or what it's going to be or anything. We just know that it's animated. I got time for one more. We got to play the promos, but but not yet. There's 2 promos down at the bottom of that page when we're going to play them. Just not yet. I'll do one more story. Yeah, moving on. We have the UK software sales. Here's something absolutely crazy. So Ring Fit Adventure has been selling really well around the world. And in some parts of the world, it is completely out of stock or has been out of stock right now or has been out of stock. Well, over in the UK, Nintendo finally got a new round of stock for Ring Fit Adventure onto store shelves. And we have the weekly software sales. Ring Fit Adventure came in at number 7 overall for the week. And its sales went up compared to the previous week 882%. An 882% increase over the prior week because stock is now out there on store shelves. That game is becoming a real
Fad.
big title for them, which is crazy because obviously Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus moved millions upon millions of units, and then people were like, well, that's the extra gaming fad, they're done there. And now Ring Fit is, while more of a long tail seller and a slow burner, still a multi-million seller, and it's topping the charts now all these weeks after it came out. When did it come out? October, November, something like that? So it's been out for a while, and now it's still topping charts, which is crazy. It started out with a okay debut and then fell down in the charts, and then word of mouth spread, and then it started to go up, and now we're seeing it number 1 in Japan, top 10 in the UK, number 1 in other regions. So it's doing really well for them. And also this week's charts saw boosts for multiple Switch titles because there's more stock replenishment in general over in the UK. Games that saw boosts in their sales as far as Nintendo goes are Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Luigi's Mansion 3, which both went up 19%. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild went up 25% and has spent over 100 weeks in the top 40 in the UK. Pretty crazy. And then Pokemon Sword saw a 31% increase. Good numbers all around. Autumnal Blake says, correct me if I misunderstood the chart, but it looks like Ring Fit is up to 7th from off the list last week. I wonder what would cause that. Well, now you know, my dear friend. Yeah, I added in details because Nintendo posted up the story but didn't add in the details, so I added those
Speaking
in.
of, he just popped into the
Discord.
I almost called it delusional.
Oh, I went to read the chat and it wasn't here.
Yeah, because you gave it to me.
What?
You were like, Mom, Brian.
No, I pointed because someone was saying your name. Yeah, can I see the chat, please?
Shut up.
Come on, we're sharing it. All right,
Share
Kirby.
my
We're gonna play a couple whatever you call. They're not sponsors. Plugs for other podcasts on the Greenlit Podcast Network. That's what we're doing.
Are they
are they new?
the ones at the very end of
should
the
be the
page?
last 2. Yeah,
All
play those 2 and then we'll be back. Remember, no talking, Nikki Hill.
If you love classic games, you might want to check out Retronauts, a podcast dedicated to classic games and the culture around them. Every episode, co-hosts Bob Mackey and Jeremy Parrish, that's me, go beyond the nostalgia of the games we all played as kids to find deeper meaning in them, or at least to find interesting things to say. That's Retronauts weekly here on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Come on in. What can I get you? Sure, I've heard of Hair of the Dogcast. They're that podcast about video games and beer. From the latest gaming headlines to diving deep into the games of yesterday to sampling and reviewing craft beer from all over the world, Hair of the Dogcast is here for the gamer and beer lover in all of us. Available weekly on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Thank you, Kirby. I appreciate it. We had a comment in the chat. Hi, Doom Eternal. Thanks for stopping in. Who said it? Where did it go? Freddie Fro says, did you make a promo yet? I did make a promo. I had to make one before the network launched. And it's funny you bring that up now because I was talking to Crazy Colonel last night, and he said he was listening to the most recent episode of the Retronauts podcast. And on that episode, we were the promo. So we just promoted Retronauts, and now Retronauts was promoting us because he listened and he was like, wow, this is crazy. One of my favorite podcasts being promoted by one of my favorite podcasts. So as I said, Jeremy Parrish is he's spearheading the whole Greenlit Podcast Network. It's pretty much his baby. So I've been a fan of Jeremy Parrish for a really long time, and I'm honored to be a part of this network. But it's just really cool to have a spot for our show on Retronauts. It just blows my mind. All right, anyway, Nikki Hill, yes, we are talking about the wonderful 101.
No.
You you wanted to talk about it. Go ahead. Freddie Fro says, let's hear yours, as in my podcast plug. Maybe it'll finally convince me to give your podcast a listen. All right, anyway, Nikki Hill, go ahead.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I do remember. I went to
Shut up. I don't care.
Sorry to upset you, Josh.
Josh, let's let him speak, okay?
No. I went to back it because I was like, oh, I want this game now because Raw Meat blamed everybody for it not doing well on the Wii U. And I was going to buy it on the Wii U, but I didn't think I was going to play it. And now I'll just buy it and put it on a shelf because that's what I do with most of my games.
Not this one.
You don't know me.
How are you going to put it on a shelf?
You know my life. What do you mean?
Digital.
Yeah, but what if I get a hard copy version?
Right.
Anyway, it's all the sales and everything on this Kickstarter, it was in yen. And it seems as though if I were to back it, I wasn't going to get any discount. I'm still going to have to pay like $50.
You know, if you just wait like maybe 3 seconds, it automatically adjusts to dollars.
It didn't for me. And I was on that page for a while.
Well, I mean, it definitely does.
No, it showed me what the calculation was, but to get a hard copy in America, I had to pay extra for shipping.
Thank you, Don. I see that.
Believe that. And then and it was going to cost me like $50.
Get out of here.
I thought the whole thing about Kickstarters, I'm going to get it cheap because I'm kickstarting the movement.
Well, that would be cheaper than a regular retail game.
What is
that? $50 versus $60.
It's not steep enough.
So now you're saying you want an even bigger discount. The one you're getting isn't enough.
Maybe.
I mean, you can still back it right now.
Yeah, I could. I've still got 26 days to do it.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Guess what? I'm currently unemployed now, so I don't have the money to pay for the game in yen.
Give me
in that magical fairyland dollars.
Give me you effing money.
USD.
Oh boy.
Well, anyway, the wonderful 101. I believe last week's podcast we talked about the rumor of there being a Kickstarter, and I said it's not. It's a rumor, but it should be a rumor because it's true.
And they were originally wanted.
And they were originally wanted. They originally wanted
$430 to.
They wanted 50 G's.
No,
50 racks.
No, 49,430.
Okay. Yes.
That is not correct.
No, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
Anyway, what does that matter?
That is not correct.
The current. Can we talk about this current price or the current money, the amount?
Yeah, I like how I asked you to talk about it and you say you forgot, and then I started going, and now you're just. Yeah, we can talk about it. What's that? It's at 1.4 million plus.
Okay, you talk about it.
Right? That's what it's at.
Yeah. Why am I here?
Within the first half hour of the Kickstarter going live, they hit the 49,000, whatever it was, to make that was just for the Switch version. So the Switch version got funded in less.
Wow! Incredible!
A half hour. And then there were stretch goals for PC and PS4, which have both been hit as well. Then there was a stretch goal at $1 million for a time attack mode,
Amazing.
which also got hit. And now they're coming up on the
2D
new
adventure.
2D adventure.
Oh, that's not.
Fantastic.
There you go.
I thought, Buddy said.
Buddy and Woods, yeah.
Fan-
Can you tell me what it is actually at right now? They're like really close to hitting that next stretch goal.
1,485,296 smackers.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to hit that next stretch goal. And
Don't
then
be
I would
so
imagine,
sure. They still have to make what 15,000 more dollars to get to 1.5 million.
Then I would imagine they'll open up new stretch goals as well. And also, Lanquin wants to point out something very important to you, Nikki Hill. Kickstarter isn't about purchasing; it's about funding something you enjoy. That is what it's about.
At a discounted price. Early adopters.
Well, if you want a discounted
save
price, go
their
buy the Wii U
dollars.
version right now. I'm sure that's got to be like $5, $10.
I want the stretch goals.
What?
The stretch goals?
Oh, you want time attack mode? That's the only one
No,
unlocked right
well,
now.
no,
Big
but
time attack player.
I mean, it's so expensive that if I contribute to it, we'll hit the 1.5 million.
Starting up a speed running Twitch channel pretty soon.
Don't mock me.
He said he's unemployed.
Yeah, this could be your big break. In
Hey,
streaming.
let's talk to your podcast network people. I got some ideas.
So what I was going to say is I'm going to talk about something related to the Wonderful 101 that just came up today that you don't know, Nikki Hill, but Mom Brain knows.
Yeah,
It's really
there was
very
this
funny.
guy on the Wonderful 101 remastered Kickstarter who was saying how he was a big fan of the original game. He was excited to play this version on Switch, so he backed it, and he was hoping to get a cameo in the game. He was saying he could get a cameo in the game because he's Cisco of the Thong Song fame.
Oh, I thought it was going to be you.
And people are like, what? No. And he's like, it's really me. And they're like, no, it's not. Well, guess what? It really was Cisco. Cisco's in the comments of this Kickstarter talking about how he loves the game. Really can't wait for this one. And he's hoping somehow to get a cameo in this version of the game. He said, I don't care if it's just a palette swap, like different colors to match my color scheme. That's completely
What's
fine.
his color scheme? He's got his
silver and red.
It wasn't. Didn't he have
It's
that
silver hair,
own.
and
It's like his
he wore a
whole
lot of red.
his whole life involves those colors. Like everything in his, like his car, his shoes.
I
his
just want to
underwear.
point this out. You're questioning if Cisco's color scheme is correct based on Cisco himself telling you that's his color scheme.
I'm just asking.
I mean, what's your color scheme? Nikki
I don't know.
Hill?
Right now,
Brown.
it's
It's all brown.
jeans and green.
Jeans and green. Jeans and green and Nikki Hill show.
Jeans and green. That's
Oh,
it.
what the heck
So
is
yeah,
going on
it
here?
actually
Mr. Green Jeans.
that picture is great. So it actually was Cisco, which I thought was funny. And he apparently, I didn't know that Cisco is like a huge video game fan, and he loves his Switch and is talking about how he's playing like
He
Marvel
also likes
Ultimate
those
Alliance.
dumps
Sorry,
like a
I
truck.
I've been making dumps like a truck lately. Dang.
So now
I
my new goal is to have Cisco on the podcast.
just want to say, Freddie Fro asked what would I speed run, and if I did a speed running channel, it would basically be a speed run towards failure because I can't get through games
Ben-
like in normal speed.
Yikes.
Speed run to the toilet. Oh.
Ben Golden Triforce says it's basically already funded. Didn't expect the goal for Switch to be only 50K. Wonder if they already started work on it and just couldn't finish. Well, I believe they did already start work on it, and I also believe the goal is to release it in April. So it's
I
not going
also
to take long at
believe
all.
that they're going to take that 1.4 whatever million and disappear.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
With that
we could bet
kind
on it right
with
now.
that kind of scratch, you don't need to be making games no more.
Nothing is better for stealing lots of money than by being very public about what you're doing and then trying to disappear.
that happens on Kickstarter. Right?
I think you're thinking of people like making projects that don't actually come to fruition.
Yeah,
Yes, that does happen.
And it happens on GoFundMe. Too,
projects
right?
that get funded.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, like the game's already done. They're just doing a port.
Yeah, so why do they need?
Long story short,
1 million.
they're not gonna. They didn't. They needed 50,000 to do the Switch port. CD Projekt Red is working on Cyberpunk 2077, which I'm sure Kirby is excited about, and I am excited about as well because he's a Witcher fan. So I'm sure he likes what CD Projekt Red does. This is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC, not Switch. but they have been asked multiple times if it could come to Switch, and this time we got the most encouraging answer so far.
No.
CD Projekt Red's John, it looks like my to me. My. Said this. He was asked, is there a Switch version or plans for a Switch version? He says, not as far as I know, not yet. I don't know if Cyberpunk 2077 would work on the Switch. It might be too heavy for it. But then we did put Witcher 3 on it, and we thought that would be too heavy, but somehow pulled it off. So he's at least saying nothing in the plans right now, but because we think it might be impossible, but we thought The Witcher was going to be impossible. And look, now it's on the Switch. So stranger things have certainly happened. It's the most encouraging message to get. It doesn't say they're doing it, but it doesn't say that they wouldn't at least consider it. I'm sure at some point somebody's going to be like, hey, let's see if we could get Cyberpunk to run on the Switch just for the hell of it, and see what happens. Entropy says that's just not going to happen. The Switch can't handle it, which is the same things we heard about The Witcher, and then The Witcher came out.
That's not possible.
Thank you. That's quickly becoming one of my favorite ones. Hi, Steel Diver. Hi, Nico Darunia.
That's not possible.
Yeah, I really like it.
Are you really saying it's better than Dad Grown?
I said it's quickly becoming one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
Dad Grown, obviously, number one. Hey, Josh, how do you feel about Dad Grown? Is it your kind of thing, or? Josh doesn't feel like talking. Josh
No, not at all.
Okay, there we go. We're not going to talk. We're not going to do that one. We do have
whatever.
We do have an interesting story about Satoru Iwata. Back in 2005, he was doing the main keynote at the Tokyo Game Show, and at that keynote, he decided to reveal the Wii. Basically, he did the first public discussion of what the Wii was back when it was called the Revolution, and this really took people by surprise, including people.
This really took people by surprises.
The people that run the Tokyo Game Show, because they didn't know he was going to do this. This is a rep from the Tokyo Game Show. He says, Iwata abruptly announced the Wii. The audience gave a round of thunderous applause, and foreigners whistled in excitement. On the other hand, the Japanese game media journalists literally froze. Although the game industry was aware that Nintendo would release a new game console, nobody expected it to be announced at TGS. But it was him, Iwata, that explained the Wii Remote all by himself while swinging it in the air. It was so impressive that it became a popular topic on the street. Anyway, he perfectly fooled and hid it away from us all the way till the day of the Tokyo Game Show. So when it was Microsoft representatives' turn to speak, and this guy said Microsoft was going on after Nintendo. So TGS was blindsided, and this Microsoft guy was blindsided. He was going up after Iwata. And the Microsoft representative turned to the representative and said, Iwata-san is cunning. And I said, nope, I didn't know at all. Sorry about that. So the poor Microsoft guy had to follow up Nintendo revealing the Revolution. And they were like, well, we can't have that again. So they banned Iwata from ever giving a keynote at the Tokyo Game Show ever again. Because they want all their attendees or all their keynote speakers to feel welcomed and warranted to be there. And they had talked about what Iwata was going to do during his keynote. And then Iwata's like, Revolution, baby, new system. Here we go. Okay, thanks, everybody. Go ahead, Mr. Microsoft. And they didn't have like anything to really announce. So not that Microsoft really matters when it comes to Japan. At least they were trying back then. But Rift Silver says, every new article that releases about Iwata just makes me miss him even more. What a guy. He really was something special. Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see another guy like him. Here's a crazy story. I didn't know this. Oh, no, I thought this was a different story. This is about Nintendo's late president, Hiroshi Yamauchi. So Nintendo is very well, if you're a longtime Nintendo fan, you probably know this story, but there's a lot of people who didn't know the story, which is why we shared it. Nintendo's late president, Hiroshi Yamauchi, was very well known for being very brazen, bold, and harsh in his tone. He didn't really fit with the image of Nintendo, and especially the image of their games, because Nintendo makes games that are for everybody and very friendly and open and endearing, and Mr. Yamauchi was just a real... I don't want to speak ill of the dead. He was just a very harsh personality. Well, back in the days of the N64 and the PlayStation, Nintendo 64 came out, or the Nintendo 64 was coming out, and everybody was expecting that was going to be the #1 system. But they knew Sony was working on something, although Sony was unproven in the video game industry, so nobody knew. They were a wild card. Nobody knew how successful the platform was going to be. Obviously, the PS1 ended up selling a lot more than the N64 for a number of reasons. It was cheaper to make games on the PlayStation because it used discs instead of cartridges. Third parties flocked to the system, and they had a ton of third-party support where the N64 didn't really have a ton of third-party support. Whole bunch of reasons in there. But yes, end of the story is PS1 really outsold the N64. So Mr. Yamauchi was asked what happened. Why did more Japanese gamers buy the PS1 versus the N64? And Mr. Yamauchi says, because Japanese gamers, quote, like to be alone in their rooms and play depressing games. That was his answer.
Sick burn.
And also, Yamauchi was famous for not liking or playing video games, too. He ran a video game company. So, yeah, he obviously his assessment of the situation was him being bitter and not understanding video games, because that's not why the PS1 was successful. And it's not like the PS1 didn't have games that weren't family friendly or open to everybody or colorful, like Parappa the Rapper or Crash Bandicoot or Spyro. Any of those games are all very open to everybody and colorful. This is a really long. Should I do this?
A real long.
It's a really long comment. Yeah, you know what? They took the time to write it. I will read it. Vin Loria says, I mean, that could describe gamers in general, at least nowadays. Yamauchi's comment may have been scathing and having come from his bitterness over the N64's underperformance, but I think it's ultimately accurate when I see how gaming the world over has turned out. At least outside of Nintendo, the only forms of multiplayer you see these days are for the most part online matchmaking and esports garbage. And I don't necessarily disagree that ever since the PS1, this whole industry has constantly acted like they've had something to prove over how much of a big kid they are now with adult and cinematic games. Frankly, this sentiment of take us seriously, damn you, has always been nothing other than embarrassing, as if they're afraid of the notion that anyone might actually treat video games as toys again. Oh, the horror if it were to come to pass somehow. The whole of gaming needs to stop acting so stuck up and thinking so loftily of itself. Maybe another crash is the slice of humble pie. We need to reassess why we're in this. Whoa, 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 whoa. I think the spirit of Yamauchi has returned. I do agree that some game developers think that they're badass for making like mature games and think other types of games are beneath them. I do think there's certain developers that feel that way, that have a very like bro machismo mentality, but I don't.
Is that all one word?
Think bro machismo. Yeah,
is that really?
That's my great uncle's name.
Ah, bro machismo.
Here he comes, Mr. Bro machismo.
Oh, there he is. Bro machismo.
So yeah, but as an industry as a whole, I mean, there was a time. Let's put it honestly, in the 2000s, everybody was acting weird, and the video games had its weirdness because they were getting bigger, and there was a whole fight about like, yeah, I play adult games with polygons and guns and blood. Yes, we all had that.
Yeah.
But it's not it's not like it used to be. I don't think there's still little pockets, but it's not as bad. That's just my 2 cents, though. Well, we mentioned last week that Astral Chain has sold over 1 million copies, and Platinum has said, yes, it is a big success, and they went out of their way to say that it is co-owned by Nintendo. So if anything, because people are asking, put Astral Chain on other systems. If that's going to happen, it's going to have to happen with Nintendo's approval. Moving on. Mr. Sakurai says that Smash Brothers has too many Fire Emblem characters and too many characters with swords. And some of you might think, but Sakurai makes the game. Why would he say that? Because he makes the game based on what Nintendo says. Nintendo says, here's the characters we want, and here's the characters for the DLC packs. And obviously he has some input, but Nintendo has the final say. and he does what he's told because he's an employee, so he makes the games. And yes, he would agree that there are too many fighters from Fire Emblem, and like I said, too many sword users as well. But he says,
That's
"Hey,
not possible.
I don't make the decision. I'm told what to do, and I just make them." So he says when he does have more Fire Emblem characters or characters with swords, he goes out of their way to give them unique tactics that are exclusive to each fighter, so they at least feel different when you're playing as them. But yes, he hears your complaints, and he wanted you to know that. Unbelievable has the top-rated comment. It says, "Wow, thanks, Nintendo. Thanks for shoving Fire Emblem down my throat. Please be sure to add a Sword and Shield rep in the next pass too while you're at it. These two widely popular IPs definitely need all the exposure it can get." Well, I wouldn't be surprised
That's not possible.
if there's another Pokemon in the next fighter pack. There's 6 characters. Sword and Shield is really popular. I wouldn't be surprised if they added in a Pokemon in there. But we don't know for sure. Maybe that won't happen. Yes. Take the Super Nintendo World Challenge
and shove it
in New York City for a chance to win tickets to Universal Studios Japan for an exclusive preview of Super Nintendo World. So Nintendo Universal Studios, we knew something was coming up in New York City, but now we know it's actually open to the public. Reservations for this event open up on what's today? Oh, crap.
Today.
They opened up yesterday.
Oh, no.
But you can still,
Saturday.
well, let's see. It just says reservations opened yesterday. I'm sure you can still get a spot. Reservations for the event opened yesterday. The challenge will take place at Grand Central Terminal in New York City on February 19th from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.
That's a full day.
Reserve your spot to play the Super Nintendo World Challenge for a chance to win one of 8 grand prize trips. Reservations are first come, first serve. So yeah, go there today if you haven't already and you want to get in on this.
This is like the Wizard.
It says, put on Super Mario's iconic glove and punch the suspended question mark blocks to accumulate digital coins. At the end of your session, check your glove to see if you're a grand prize winner.
Oh, so you're not even really... It's like a scratch-off.
No, you put on gloves when you scratch it. It gets too dirty, yeah.
No, it's like the scratch-offs that you get from the car dealership, or then you got to cash it in. So, like, you go and do it.
There's a gift for you.
And then you may be the lucky person who, like, one of your coins was
maybe
pass.
Yeah. I guess it's not really.
It's not like playing a
performance
game.
based. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That's good. It opens it up to everybody.
Maybe the better you do will net you more coins, and then you'll have a better chance. A better what's that called?
Maybe chance.
No, what's the word? But you'll have better odds because you'll have more entries. But yeah, you could punch one block, get one coin, and still be a winner. You will win a 3-night stay in a hotel in Osaka, Japan, round trip airfare to Osaka, Japan, and you and one guest can experience Super Nintendo World before it opens.
So when we went to Los Angeles and when we went to San Francisco, I remember staying in Japanese.
The New Otani.
Yeah. I was going to say Japanese restaurants, Japanese hotels.
We slept in Japanese
If I ever went
restaurants,
to Japan, I would like to stay in an American hotel.
Okay, the McDonald's hotel. Mirail says, what a cool promo idea. I don't live in New York, but I wish I were visiting on this day. Well, some people at this table might be visiting on that day to chronicle that event.
I know it's not me. I don't go into the city unless I'm working.
It's not me because I only wear a robe. Not allowed out of the house.
There's a lot of people in New York
is
City
it
who
Mom
only
Brain?
wear a robe.
Mom Brain, are you going?
Going where?
Thanks, Mom Brain. Is it you, Kirby?
No.
Well, then I would say 2 of us at this table are lying.
And who are
Next
they?
story. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that.
Yeah, I think you're probably lying. There's a lot of people who go to New York City in a robe,
Yeah.
who walk the
Big
streets.
Nintendo said, I'm skipping a story here because there's so many top stories lately. Nintendo said that they were originally going to add in multiple parallel worlds to A Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So Link to the Past has 2 worlds, light and dark, but there were going to be more than that. This information comes from Nintendo's Kensuke Tanabe. He says, when I was
Oh,
working
Giant
on
Reggie
A Link to the
says
Past,
Josh Grobot's gonna go.
at first, we were thinking about structuring the game with numerous parallel worlds. However, in order to establish the gameplay in the end, we decided that it would be better to narrow it down to 2 worlds, light and dark. I think game development involves much work where you never know unless you actually test it out. Yeah, if they had like 6 different parallel worlds in there, it might have got a bit too confusing. You start out with a basic idea and then expand upon it. So,
is there a video game that like you go into the past and based on
Link
like
to the Past,
what
yeah.
you do, it changes like one tiny little thing in the future?
You got it, Autumnal Blake. It is Josh Grobot and Dad Moan. Dad Moan is going as well.
Come on, enough with
A
the
game
dad
where
moan,
you do
it's
things in the
creepy.
future and it changes in the past.
No, the other way around.
Do things in the past and it changes in the
Like
future.
you
That's
go back
every game.
into the past and you do something.
Chrono
and then,
Trigger.
and then like the future changes ever so slightly. Like
It's
another
only like a minor
like
change.
one character's eyes went from green to blue.
Well, I don't know about that example. I'm sure there are games. Yes,
like when Homer goes back
Yeah,
in
see?
time and then he comes back to the present and they all have lizard tongues and then he's like,
Close-
close
close
enough.
enough. Lankman says Chrono Trigger. Yeah, see, Chrono Trigger is the one I said. Chrono Trigger is all about time travel. There's
Is
like
it?
16 different endings in that game.
Hmm.
Great soundtrack too. You should play it.
I tried.
HG Mule says,
Thanks
I
for
clicked
making me
on
feel
the A
inadequate.
Link to the Past tag, and the next story is a different translation of the same interview from 3 years ago. That is not correct because this interview just happened. But now I'm gonna.
That is not correct.
I want to click the tag now too. Where's the tag? Oh, there it is. Legend of Zelda. Let's see. That's not the next one that I get. No. Oh, maybe he's talking about A Link to the Past. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here. Yes. Maybe we're able to add even more. When we started, probably including multi-world structure. Oh, multi-world structure. Yes. Overlapping worlds. So he talks about it, but yes, this is a different interview. This interview was about Luigi's Mansion 3, which didn't come out 3 years ago. I just want to point that out. Oh my God, Nikki Hill, is what you were saying happening right now? Did someone go back in the past and put out Luigi's Mansion 3 years ago?
I don't know, but that reminds me of the times that I've told you that there was a problem on the site and you go, no, there isn't. And then I refresh my page and everything's fixed.
I do that all the time. Thanks to Nintendo. Nintendo will send me a message in like Google Hangout or Talk, whatever it's called, and be like, this is not right. And I'll like click and I've typed something wrong. Like now this one I blame on Twitter, although it still might have been me. I had a story about Persona 5 Scramble. And if you went to it on Twitter, instead of a screenshot for the game, it was a picture of a bus from some game. It's just like a school bus. And Twitter had went down that day, so I don't know if something got jumbled there, but it's equally possible that it was just me. So Don told me you made a mistake, and I went in and fixed it. Although that was a really funny mistake. Good Lord Almighty, we got so much. I'm gonna have to be really picky here. All right, we're skipping that one. Nintendo has said that Switch hardware and accessory production delays are happening in Japan due to the coronavirus. So a lot of Switch hardware is made in China, and because of what's going on in China with the coronavirus,
Made in China.
that's not it. There's been production delays. So Nintendo is saying in Japan there's going to be issues with hardware. So the Switch and the Animal Crossing Switch that's coming up and Ring Fit Adventure, those are going to become harder to find because of this. They don't have a timeline for when things are going to be fixed, but now you know. Also, very quickly,
Fixed or cleaned?
What? Fixed? Did you really ask what happened?
Production delays.
Yeah.
So things broke? Or they just
No,
think things are
hey,
contaminated?
No, people are sick. They're
Yeah.
not going to work.
So people don't need
Jobs
to be
are
fixed. They need to be
closed.
healed.
Who
People
says
need to
fixed?
shop.
You just said fixed. Things are going to get fixed.
The flow of hardware will be fixed. We know people aren't quote unquote fixed. Josh Grobot would be fixed.
The flow on hardware has been halted, not broken.
I didn't say broken. You
No,
did.
You said fixed.
Yes. The flow will be fixed.
I don't think
Shortages will be fixed.
Hey, what
I
happened?
guess so.
Also, we found out I had no idea about
think
this.
so.
Banjo-Kazooie is named after a person.
I don't believe it.
And this was confirmed by a former Rare developer. Now, at least one half of this is true. The other half could also be true, but that wasn't confirmed. So Banjo was named for former Nintendo president Hiroshi Yamauchi's grandson, who's named Banjo Yamauchi.
Okay.
So Banjo. His son was named Katsuhito. So if you put that together, you get Banjo Katsuhi, which could be Kazooie. So we know the Banjo part is true. The Kazooie part may have been inspired by the son's name, but I'm not sure. Sokar says, so there's a Japanese name called Banjo. Interesting. And Filet-O-Fish brings up another point. It could be Banchao. His name could be Banchao, which is apparently a Japanese name as well. And so it sounds obviously very close to Banjo. Banchao. Could be. But regardless of what is the situation there, we know for a fact that at least one half of Banjo-Kazooie's name was created or was inspired by Yamauchi's family. North America this week's digital downloads. What do we got here? We got Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales. This is a Witcher spin-off game that's a card battler. Knights and Bikes is available. We also have Arcade Archives, Saint Dragon, Bridge Builder Adventure, Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth, Cosmonauta, Crash Drive 2, ELEA Paradigm Shift, or ELEA, EQQO, Hair Mower. Yes, Hair Mower. Help Me, Doctor. Just a Phrase by Paugi, Kitty Powers Matchmaker, Kunai, which I'll talk about later, Marooners, Nerved, Rolling Sky 2, Rune Lord, Sen 789, Shiny Ski Resort, Super Korotama, The Man with the Ivory Cane, The Town of Light Deluxe Edition, The Turing Test, Thief Town, Voxel Pirates, 0000, or as Nikki Hill says, and Uoni Rises.
Is that like pepperoni?
Pepperoni Rises, yeah. First comment comes from Guy Bones, and he says, damn it, Kunai's again. That's amazing. He said the name of the game, Kunai.
Oh,
damn it, Kunai again. Kunai's again. And it's really good, Guy Bones. Holy crap. I am liking that right now. Upvote. Yep, there we go. Man, that is good. How did I not think of that? Tim and Eric fan, and I don't even think that. All right, Nikki Hill, do your thing.
Set me loose. This week's European downloads, the week of February 6th. Here we go. Please the Gods. Hair Mower 3D. Was the American one in 3D too?
I don't think it said 3D.
Oh, look at that. Monster Energy Supercross, the video game 3.
Nope.
The official video game 3.
You got the name wrong. I'm sorry.
Relive the 2019 Supercross season.
No, we don't need it.
Wide Ocean Big Jacket.
That's my favorite.
Take part in a classic camping trip. Roast hot dogs on the fire, go bird watching, tell ghost stories, grab a beverage from the cooler, and do cartwheels on the beach.
What is the name of that band?
The Beach Boys.
Cake?
Yes, it's my favorite Cake song. Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Wide Ocean Big Jacket. The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. Seventh Sector. Wargroove Double Trouble Bundle. This includes the game and Double Trouble DLC. Battleground. Nerved. The Man with the Ivory Cane. Sen 789. Oh, that's what that means. I was confused when you said it.
Not surprised.
SEN : 789. Bunch of symbols. Yoni Rises. Okay. Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. Code Realize, Guardian of. I'm trying to read it with the what you call that, punctuation. Rolling Sky 2. Kunai. Kunai. Just a Phrase. Just a Phrase. Wait.
Just a Phrase?
Who's Paugi?
That's the creator.
Oh, okay, because it's made by Lightwood Games, so I got confused there. 2 creators, huh? Arc of Alchemist. 4 orbs to rule them all. No, this is all part of Arc. Okay, dang it.
One week you'll get through these.
Shiny Ski Resort. I'm gonna have to do this in advance and just make a list.
I don't think it would work
easier.
anyway.
You know what? Go Pound Dirt. Knights and Bikes. Arcades, Archives, Saint Dragon. Bridge Builder Adventure. EQQO. The heck is that about? It's a heartening tale of a mother and a blind child and an egg. The Turing Test. Loco Sports. Trying to just put the inflection there. Rune Lord. Dear Lord. 0000. Or as I call it. Oh.
Or
Elia Paradigm Shift. Kitty Powers Matchmaker. Marooners. Crash Drive 2. The Town of Light Deluxe Edition. Holy moly, so much content. And then a bunch of downloadable content.
You did it, Nikki.
Mortal Kombat, War Groove, Groove Coaster, Net Wonder.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Guybone says, damn it, Kunai's again. He has the same comment on both of them. Good for you. Moving on. There's a psychologist who says, I treat teenagers who play too much Fortnite, and I treat them by having them play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Why does he do that? Well, he says...
he's got stock
it
in
helps
Nintendo.
the teens reconnect with the real world by moving them from a competitive, intense gaming mindset to a more contemplative one. And he says it's working. And he has lots of parents who get in touch and say, my kid's addicted to Fortnite. Fix them. And he goes, okay, have them come in and they'll play video games. So he says it works. I don't know. I'm not a it's working. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Philo says, I want to buy the idea that it's advisable to have a balanced, healthy diet. Doom is fine, but maybe mix it in with a bit of sim-like games. Maybe one in a Pacific island. Yes, that would be a good fit. Exactly. Play a little Doom, play a little Animal Crossing. They come out on the same day, so why not?
Doesn't anyone care what I think?
Oh well, Josh.
I wanted to know what that sounded
Josh,
like.
what do you think?
We'll just have to wait and see.
What an ass.
Wow, Josh.
Sega is once again holding a Sonic the Hedgehog panel at South by Southwest. It's their yearly thing that they do, and they always tease surprises for the event.
Wait, does that mean like they're just holding that arrow sign on the street corner and just says Sonic the Hedgehog?
No.
It's just a panel.
I get it. Yes, I get it. We need... we got the rim shot. Can I get the rim shot, please? They always host this panel every year. They always have surprises that they reveal. This year, I'm sure, will be no different. March 20th, 2020. And these streams are always a little bit cringy, but in a great way. So we'll be watching. We'll be live streaming it on the site, and we'll be covering whatever they announce. Totodile says the only comment you should have when we have a Sonic-related story.
Meow.
That is exactly what Totodile said. It's funny how Sonic has been around for so long, and now he has that attributed
He finally
to him.
has a catchphrase.
Unfortunately, The Outer Worlds has been delayed on the Switch due to complications from the coronavirus. Let me explain this. No, Nikki Hill, the game's not infected with the coronavirus, and it doesn't have to be cleaned. The developer, Virtuous, has not been allowed in their offices for a number of weeks because it's closed because of the coronavirus outbreak. So they can't work. Hello, Froyukin. Thanks for joining us. So they can't go into the office. So they can't. What is that? Is that your phone? Do you hear that weird noise?
What does it sound like?
It's like a. So it's like I don't hear it anymore. Of course. I'm sure the cat's fine. So this time, the game is delayed to an unspecified date. We don't know when it's going to come out. But the good news is the game was going to previously be digital only, and that included the retail copy. The retail copy was just going to have a download code in the box. Now they say they're adding in an actual physical game card. So the delay There, that was it. The delay will.
His nose.
Whose?
Yeah, he's got
I
a
don't know.
stuffy nose or something.
Maybe that's it. The delay will be worth it. So a lot of people were like, what the hell? We can't have a game card. And now you're getting a game card. But like I said, we don't know when it's coming. So how long of a wait is worth the game card? But the important thing here is we want people to be healthy. We want people to be safe. So the wait needs to be as long as it needs to be. And that's way more important than a bunch of nerds like us getting a video game.
Wait, so instead of making the game cartridge taste bitter, they just dip it in coronavirus?
No.
Because that would be brilliant.
No, I would say it wouldn't be.
I think that would be a bad idea.
Steel Diver says, I don't want to buy this delayed because of the virus. I don't know. Steel Diver says, I don't buy this was delayed because of the virus. It's a good excuse considering how bad the backlash was for the digital code and the box release. But yeah, physical wins again. And if I am wrong, hopefully they are okay. But I'm almost never wrong about this stuff. Well, I mean, that's a terrible thing to say. That they're going to use the coronavirus as cover for a game delay. Game delays happen all the time. And I don't think a developer is so upset about announcing a game delay that they would say, oh, it's the coronavirus's fault. Like, that would be absolutely horrible and would lead to a big scandal. So, Steel Diver, as much as I love your support on the site, I'm going to say that is not correct. Yeah, that'd be terrible.
That is not correct.
We don't need to do that.
Steel Diver's the one who doesn't believe in digital.
That
right?
is correct.
Okay.
Atlus has put out a survey. They do a yearly survey asking their fans what they'd like to see, but there's something very interesting about this one. This survey in particular asks about a number of franchises appearing on the Switch. They say, hey, if we were going to do ports of these games to Switch, would you buy them? So this, at the very least, shows that there's some consideration of these franchises coming to the Switch. Perhaps if the poll gets the results that they're looking for, then these ports will happen. They're doing ports of, I'm just going to say in general, multiple Persona games, multiple Shin Megami Tensei games, multiple Etrian Odyssey titles. And then there's other one-off things in there, like Odin Sphere, Dragon's Crown, Catherine Full Body, 13 Sentinels. 13 Sentinels I would really like to see on the Switch. So it's encouraging that at least Atlus is having the thought of doing this. Whether actually anything actually comes of it, Josh, we'll just have to wait and see. Altona Blake says, this isn't something you'd think about before porting a spin-off. That's almost a sequel. And
We'll just have to wait and see.
I'm sorry, Altona Blake says, isn't this something you'd think about before porting a spin-off that's almost a sequel and having your character in Smash? Atlus is baffling. Yeah, I don't understand why we're getting a spin-off to, or a pseudo-sequel to Persona 5 on Switch without getting Persona 5, but what do I know? I'm not a game developer. We have a rumor from, this comes from the Kind of Funny Games cast, where they had a discussion among multiple people, which included former Game Informer editor Imran Khan, and he was talking about Smash Brothers and characters that might appear in a game. And there's some debate as to whether this guy is just speculating or if he's in the know. He's certainly in a position to be in the know. And I think the way he words it, at least half of it, is not speculation. So he talks about the chances of Sora from Kingdom Hearts being in Smash Brothers. And he says that Nintendo approached Disney about adding Sora. But obviously nothing has come of it so far, at least that we have seen. And then after that, he goes on to say that basically Disney Japan was against the idea or stopped the idea. So part of the discussion for Mr. Khan is him saying they definitely approached Disney once. Those are his words. Definitely approached Disney once. And then he's asked, and then later on he says that it's, I don't want to mince his words here. The second half really could be speculation. It could be him speculating, saying Disney is the one that stopped it from happening. But the first part, he says as a fact, in my opinion. You'll have to listen to the clip yourself to see which side of this fence you fall on. We have the clip for you in the post. We also have the timestamp for where you need to listen. But it certainly sounds to me like he's saying Nintendo approached Disney about having Sora in Kingdom Hearts. And maybe they were shot down. Maybe it's something to come later. Lanquin in chat says, I don't believe this guy at all. I can't I mean, I'm not getting into it. Steel Diver says Disney is currently run by some of the worst people in America, so it's not surprising. I will never forgive them for what they did to Epcot. What did they do to Epcot?
I don't know. They got rid of
The golf ball?
that troll experience thing for a Frozen ride.
That was the right thing to do. That
but
scared so many children.
But the thing about that though is like those countries put a lot of money into those areas, and they wanted a story of like their history to be an experience in that section of the park, and Disney dismantled it to have a Frozen ride. So like,
is that what he's upset about?
Norway was pretty upset when that happened. Yeah, I'm sure they're still getting a cut now, but right.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't been to Epcot in a million years. And
I don't know.
Truth be
I'll
told,
be running through it in 2 weeks.
Truth be told,
aren't they they're gonna redo that Geodome thing, right? The
golf ball.
What's it called?
Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Yeah.
And I believe that my run's going to suffer for it.
I think John Tilton was just there, and he posted photos of it. And it really is a beautiful structure, and they're gonna like change it up completely. I don't know.
Yeah, it is called Spaceship Earth.
There you go. Moving on.
But there's like
Reggie
a name to that globe, isn't it?
shared an interesting little tidbit about when he was first applying to be a part of Nintendo.
The ride that's inside. Oh.
And he says that at the time of when he was working or looking to work with Nintendo, he had an Xbox, he had a PS2, but he didn't have a GameCube. What the hell, Reggie? Reggie's talked multiple times about how he's played A Link to the Past and other Nintendo games. He had an N64, he had a Super Nintendo, but he did not have a GameCube. And he says,
you know why?
I own an Xbox, I own a PS2. They were all in my house. Interesting, at the time I was interviewing with Nintendo, I did not own a GameCube. So as a consumer, I could see issues and opportunities. I could have a sense of where the needs were, not only from a sales and marketing perspective, which was the role I was being hired into, but from an overall perspective. So he's like, I don't have a GameCube and I like Nintendo games. So clearly something's going on here. And I have a unique perspective now. And I'm going to kick people's asses and take their names and anus wedgie and
you know what they asked him?
And
they asked him, they said, Reggie, why don't you have a GameCube? You know what he said?
I'm afraid to hear.
The game is not fun.
He didn't say cube though.
No.
Reggie was too much man for a baby console. And then he says, spoiler, I'm kidding, of course. I adored GameCube. Well, I mean, you know, he didn't have a GameCube, but he did work for Nintendo for a number of years. So I guess they even out, I guess. And we'll do our last top story. AI, the Somnium Files lead designer, apparently didn't know what review bombing is. For those at the table that don't know what review bombing is, whenever somebody on the internet gets angry about something and it's a video game, they're like, let's go to the video game website with scores and give it all 0 scores and bring a score down. That'll teach them. And that's what happened with the Somnium Files. We don't know 100% why this happened. The only speculation... Thank you for that gift. The only speculation in and around this story is that part of this game has a discussion about the LGBTQ community, and it is portrayed in a positive light. And that is something that has made people on the internet angry before. I can't say that's what's going on here, but we have literally no other explanation right now. So don't take that as fact, but more research needs to be done. That's what I'm hearing all over the place, but not confirmed. Whatever the reason, a whole bunch of people went over and bombed the review score and dropped it from like an 8.2 to like a 1.9 in a matter of a day.
So what you're saying is people
need to shop.
Like that the game.
No, people never played the game, and they just heard that it.
So they heard that the game may portray people in the LGBTQ community positively.
Yes.
And it upset them so much.
Yes.
That they gave negative reviews to this game that they've never played before.
Oh, yeah.
Now again,
That's
now again, I don't know that that is true. That is the theory at the moment, and I read the comments that are in the game.
If that is the case, let me just take a moment.
Please don't do this. Please don't do this. I knew this was going to get you fired up. I don't want to get into a discussion about something we're not sure is fact.
Lose half our listeners.
No, not that.
I'm kidding.
I don't want to get into.
Okay.
So I don't want to get into a defense of something that we don't know if it's true yet. Like if I find out that's true next week.
Yeah.
If I find out that's true next week, I will give you the microphone.
We don't know if it's true of this game, but it has happened before.
What we know for a fact is the review score was bombed, and the developer or the lead designer didn't know what review bombing was, and he took to Twitter and he was like, "What happened?" In the last day,
He said
the game's score was so high, and now it's so low. I don't understand. And his fans took to Twitter and they said, "Hey, I'm sweaty." They said, "Hey, this is what people do when they're angry, but don't listen to them. Your game's great. I love your game." And he was like, "You know, you're right. The game is a lot of fun. I'm happy you guys like it. I'm going to focus on the positive."
Focus all attacks.
So we're trying to find out what is the reason and the cause
How
here.
old is this person? How long have they been involved in the video game industry?
This designer? I don't know.
And how long have they known about the internet?
Oh, it's a surprise that a negative. Well, I don't know. Well,
I'm
that's
just-
the thing. He's from Japan, obviously, and honestly, I don't know if Japanese gaming culture has the same review bombing mentality that we do over here. So he could be completely oblivious to it. Plus, he's just one of the designers. He's not someone paying attention to all the other facets of the game. Also, I will say this very quickly. We don't know the facts of why this game was review bombed. And as I said, we have speculation as to why it might be like that. And I don't want that. I don't want us not jumping on that as being misconstrued as us not supporting the LGBTQ community. Everybody
because
at this
we
table.
very much do.
Mom Brain, please calm down. Everybody at this table certainly does. But I just don't want to get into a big defense until we know for a fact that that is what is going on here. Only speculation. I will try and have a follow-up next week. But yeah, I didn't want anything misconstrued there. We certainly support that community. Moving on. Or no, comment comes from Mock Turtle. Mock Turtle says, "Queer characters exist. Gamers, how dare you? Why are you doing this to me? What are you doing what are you doing this to video games? God, I hate this culture sometime." That's the top rated comment on the site. So yeah, I don't know. We'll find out what happens. But no matter what it is, it's hard to discuss. Let's just look at the fact that there are people out there who will not play a game and give it a 0 score because they're angry over whatever. And there's so many people that worked so hard on these experiences, and scores matter to these developers and these publishers because, there's other incentives and things like that. And, you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into creating a game, and you go and you find out that it's being hit with 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 over and over and over again. You're like, come on, man. I like to think that it's just kids because we all did stupid stuff when we were kids, but I know it's not just
I
kids.
would venture to say actually that kids are probably less inclined to be so hateful to the LGBTQ community.
I'm not talking about that. You have to let it go. I'm just talking about negative review scores in general.
Oh, well then yes.
I'd like to think it's just kids because I think we can all agree at this table. We all did stupid things when we were a kid that we look back on now. And we're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, I never review bombed anyone though. That just seems like a total waste of time.
But we didn't
We
grow
also
up.
didn't have the chance to review bomb anything because
also
when you were a kid,
Yeah,
there was no internet.
There's no internet. But
And people didn't care about our opinions.
Especially not our
if we were
parents.
growing up, as these kids now, where the internet is just a regular thing, who knows what we would have done? But
I think I have some ideas, and I'm glad that I'm the age I am now.
we would all have, well, like I said, we all have things now that we look back on that we did as kids, and we're like, oh God. But I'm sure with the internet is a history and a time capsule of that stuff, and it's there. Some of it can be there forever, so it'll be forever emblazoned.
Mom Brain.
Yeah.
If you were a kid, like, if you were like 13 or 14 now in this current year of 2020,
Yeah.
I'm guessing I'd like to think you would have your own YouTube show
Oh yeah.
with Kitty Meridi.
Oh yeah.
I
The
mean,
Kitty Marie show would have gone
show
live.
would be the biggest thing on the internet.
100%.
Sponsored
Yeah,
by
I would probably.
Raid Shadow Legends.
I would be like a meme. I would definitely.
Mom Brain, the meme queen.
I would definitely be.
All right, that's enough top stories. These last couple of weeks have been top story filled. Nikki Hill, what have you been playing? Thanks, Nikki Hill.
I played Oh, I wanted to talk about it. I played a couple things on VR. I played
Oh, you told me to remind you because you
Star
said you weren't going
Wars.
to remember.
Star Wars Immortal Vader, right? Is that
I
Vader?
think it's
Vader,
Guys,
Vader
Nikki Hill's
Immortal.
glitching out.
Vader
Nikki Hill's glitching out.
Vader Immortal 2, like the second part of the series.
Let me say this again.
story.
Vader Immortal Episode 2. There you
Episode
go.
2. And then I played Audica.
Yeah, aren't you going to talk about Vader Immortal?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm not really like super. I don't remember the story much. I'm just kind of like trying to get my way through the experience. So I don't know. I don't remember things in life, whether it's 3 minutes ago or 30 years ago. But I enjoy it. It's still a cool experience. The strangest thing for me is climbing up walls, because your legs don't do anything. It's just your arms, and it just doesn't feel natural. But let's be honest.
You were describing it. It is very funny to think about climbing up a ladder just using your arms and
Yeah.
letting your legs dangle.
But I'll tell
Very
you,
difficult.
spoiler alert. I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's you use the Force in this game.
Oh,
And
well, why bother playing?
And I was force pushing so much, it gave me hemorrhoids.
Oh, well, you could just
boy.
force push them back in, though.
And then I played Audica,
Mm-hmm.
and that game made me feel like a bad hiney. Can I say ASS?
Yeah.
A badass.
Oh, I thought you meant it made your hiney feel bad.
No.
It does make you feel like a badass. I agree.
But then I went to like a harder level, and I felt like a suck ass.
Whoa! Whoa!
Did
That
I not
game
say
made me
that?
feel like a real suck ass.
But I'm
Hole.
better at shooting guns than I am with lightsaber battles, because I'm an American and I love guns.
I don't think lightsabers are specific to like any culture or people, but yes, I
Star Wars
get what
culture.
you're saying. The Star Warians, the Jizz Lords, I think they call them.
Whoa!
We talked about that.
I
That's the
know.
music in Star Wars.
Jizz Whaler,
The
right?
Jizz Whalers, yeah.
That's not their band name, that's the type of music they play, right?
Yes.
So somebody needs
Wait.
to create a band named the Jizz Whalers.
Wait, is the band like is people playing that music called the Jizz Whalers, or is the music Jizz
That's
Whaler?
what I was asking.
No,
No,
they're-
the music is Jizz Whaler.
They're called I think they're just called the Max Rebo Band. But
Okay.
the style of music they play is called jizz.
Yes,
and when
it's
you're
just
when you're a
jizz.
professional jizz musician, you're known as a jizz whaler.
We've established this. I mean,
Oh man, that's good. Let's see this. Steel Diver says the Cantina band is Figurin Dan and the Modal Nodes, and the music is Jizz. People who play Jizz are Jizz Whalers. There you go, man. That is
Like,
great.
so they wanted to say like it's not jazz, it's jazz from a different universe, so it's jizz. Like they could have called it Juzz or Joe's or something. And
I
they just
refuse
went
to believe-
straight to jizz.
I
or
refuse
jazz.
to.
Jazz.
Oh, I like that jazz.
or like
You want to come over and listen to some jazz?
I
or
love
like-
smooth jazz.
or like Daz or
I refuse to believe that when Star Wars was
Faz.
made, jizz wasn't a term. I refuse to believe that.
Hasn't jizz always been a thing?
Jizz goes
Since-
back as far as I can remember.
Since the Garden of Eden.
Adam, the original Jizz Whaler.
I think
dear.
Eve's the
All
jizz
right.
whaler.
Oh man. All right, moving on. You played Audica, you liked it.
I liked it. Period.
Alien boy, that is a great set of emojis for what we're talking about. That's it. All right. Kirby,
I believe so.
what have you been playing?
I didn't play anything. Sorry.
Okay, Mom Brain,
Me
what have you
either.
been playing? Okay, Mom Brain, thank you. Josh Grobot, have you been playing anything? Video for Kunai.
Is that the Metroidvania game you've been playing?
You want to play Kunai, and you want to play Kunai. It's a
The
Metroid.
U's he pointed to were all the U's in the room except for me.
Yeah, you don't play anything. You don't even know where your Switch is.
Oh, you are so hurtful.
Kunai is a Metroidvania,
Mhm.
and it stars as far as I know, robot whose face
Josh,
is
it's
a
one of-
tablet,
Really?
and his name is Tabby. Yes, and he's like a secret weapon.
Hi, I'm sweaty.
He's like a secret weapon that's meant to help basically the resistance. And it starts off with him like almost being destroyed, but he breaks out of this like holding tank, and
What? His face is a tablet. He's a robot, and he's been in a holding tank, like underwater.
I mean,
That's
I
so
can't
dangerous.
hold on. I can't say that it's all red, but I can't tell you if it's liquid or not in there. I don't know. I see no liquid when it breaks open. To tell you the truth, it shatters and he comes flying out. But
So it
I
could
don't
just
see
be
any
a
liquid.
light?
Yeah, it could be a light.
Right.
Bye, Steel Diver. Thanks for coming. So it's a Metroidvania. It controls unbelievably well. It feels really smooth. It plays really good. And the maneuvering is extra fun because you pick up 2 kunai, which are the Japanese, people think of them as throwing weapons, but they weren't often used as throwing weapons. They were often used as like, you puncture holes in walls with them and climb up walls, or you would fight people with them in your hands. But yes, sometimes they did have ropes attached to them. So you throw those into walls and ceilings in the game kunai, and you use them to swing around. So it's kind of like a grappling hook mechanic, and you can use 2 at once to like shimmy up shafts and walls and swing around on levels. It's a lot of fun.
Shimmy shack, shimmy shack.
So I'm a sucker for any game that has some sort of grappling hook mechanic, and it just feels really good here. You can upgrade your character because it's a Metroidvania. You get new abilities that allow you to access areas you couldn't otherwise get to because it's a Metroidvania. It has a very unique color scheme. It uses blue, tan, white, black, and red.
Okay.
It uses only those colors as far as I can tell, but multiple shades of them to create each scene. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a real. I'm not 100% happy with how the map is displayed, but it's a very, very minor complaint. It's a very minor complaint. I just wish the map was less artistic and more function, but you can still totally use it and figure out what you need to do. It's just, I prefer a more rigid Castlevania style map that's made out of squares and has very defined lines in it to show you what's going on. But outside of that, holy Lord, it's a great game. It's got an amazing soundtrack. It's everything you want from Metroidvania. I cannot praise it enough. I'm not finished with it yet, but love it.
Metroidvania. What's the other thing? Castle.
I just used the other 2 parts of the words we're not using.
Yeah. Castleroy just sounds like abrasive. Metroidvania is like
you
flows.
asked me what else we could use. I was answering you.
Why do you have to be so difficult?
Yeah, right.
Asking. I also forgot I played 0000.
Well, I was going to talk about it next. We played it together. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. It's tough. It's challenging.
0000 is a one-room platform that you died on again, and the goal is to see how long it takes you to beat all the rooms. So the more rooms you complete,
that's a cool concept.
You'll go back to the rooms you failed on more and more. So eventually, when you beat like 90% of the rooms, you'll be cycling between the same like 10 rooms again until you beat each one, and then you beat the whole game.
I don't even want to know what some like the later levels are because some of those things are so freaking hard. Some of them are
there are some that are very difficult, but as you
throw up a little
as you whittle them away, then you'll have more frequent chances to play the levels that are really giving you trouble. So it's fun, and I think it's a cheap game. I want to say it's like
Looks
$5.
like there's maybe some buffering issues in the stream. Been a couple of hiccups in the last like 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, they're Well, you're doing stuff. You're doing music stuff. I mean, we're hardwired. There's nothing I can do. It's only hiccuping though, right?
Buffering issues. There was an issue a little bit ago.
Okay, no big deal then.
Metroid came out first. Cumulative
before
said,
Castlevania.
Cumulative said it's a Metroid style game. Metroid is the genre. Castlevania just occupied it for a while. That's
well, he's saying Castlevania didn't do its Metroidvania thing until many years later, which is true. Symphony of the Night was the first one where it really did that.
And that was like 1997.
I mean, Symphony of the Night is pretty much exactly the same type of game as Super Metroid.
Right.
But Castlevania really embraced that series of game for a long time.
And just
so it became a thing.
Castlevania. What are we saying again?
Castleroid.
Yeah, what they should call it is Metroidvania Symphony of the Roid. I don't know.
or did they say like, you know, it's in the same vein as Metroid? It's Metroidvania, yeah. And so then they were like,
that's so dumb that I like
stuck.
it. It's Metroid vein, yeah. It's in the Metroid vein, yeah. Okay, I like it. It's dumb enough to like, yeah.
Say it again. You have an
It's in
accent.
the Metroid vein, yeah.
It's in a Metroid vein, yeah.
It's in the Metroid vein, yeah. Oh, that's dumb. Because as Nikki Hill accurately described at first, it's a game that aims to mimic classic genres from when we were kids. So shmup, beat 'em up, racing, like behind the back of the car, you know, like Outrun, things like that. So you play these games, which in 1980X are part of an arcade. And the game tells a story about a kid who, I believe the story is a kid who revisits his town as a teen, his hometown as a teen. And I believe maybe he moves back there. I was doing it while I was recording. I was playing while I was recording a video and talking to people, so I didn't get all the story tidbits. But he's a teenager and he's wandering around and he finds like an underground arcade with a whole bunch of people that are kind of, nerds like him pretty much. And he feels like close to these people. And it's like a coming of age story for this kid. It's a very 1980s story style story that you see in the movies from the 1980s, but this is told through a video game. So you'll be playing the game that's like Outrun, and the narrator, who is the teenager, will be talking to you during part of it about like their experience in the arcade or like what's going on in high school, and you'll get cutscenes in between too that show you what's going on. It's a really unique idea. I like it. I really am excited to play more of it because I can't think of another game that has been like that. So I like it. I like it a lot. All right, that's that. That's all I played.
Thank goodness.
All right, let me do questions. Yeah, I really think the hiccup was just you pouring through a whole bunch of videos over there.
Okay.
Questions. Send your questions to GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com. GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com.
Oh.
It can be about Nintendo. It can be about video games in general, or they can be about whatever the hell you want. This week's question comes from AJ. And AJ says, Romy Cowboy seems piss his pants terrified to drive. Why is Romy Cowboy piss his pants terrified to drive? Have I talked about this? I think I talked about this.
I think you did, yeah.
Because
he's lazy.
I don't try. What? Why would that make me terrified?
Because you got to walk out to the
you can
car.
just sit in the back seat.
Yeah,
and
I'm
let
not
someone
buying the
else do
whole
all the
I'm
work.
afraid of driving thing.
Will you please back me up here?
Well, yeah, I think you're afraid of driving.
Yeah.
Like the actual responsibility of driving.
I don't trust other people at all in cars. I don't think.
Me either. That's why I like to drive.
I don't think. I don't know. It's crazy to me that so many people can so easily get a driver's license. Also, I don't trust my own skills driving. Yeah, it's just terrifying to me that there's like all these people on this little road doing like 70 miles an hour, and some of them are like listening to the radio and sing along. Some of them are like talking on their phone, and some of them are like fiddling with something else, and some of them are like zoning out or tired behind the wheel, and we're all just out there doing this, watching porn. Yeah. It terrifies me. Yeah.
Wait, people are watching porn?
Honestly, I'm like, I don't get why people aren't more terrified of driving, because
they just keep doing it. Unlike you who doesn't. Right.
But that's the thing. Like when I was driving to community college every day for 2+ years,
it was just 2.
Well, I was also driving to see you in college, but I wasn't going to say that wasn't the same amount of time. I was doing it every single weekday, and I was still just as scared. Like I've always felt that before I had my license, when I got my license, and now I've always felt like that. It's one of those things that's absolutely mind-boggling to me that it's not harder to get a license. There's like 80-year-old people out there driving that can barely walk or function.
Your dad's out there
mentally.
driving.
My dad is out there driving.
Yeah, but he's in a really safe car. Very, very
well thought out.
He'll tell you about it too. So yeah,
Very
just
safe.
that's honestly why I it just boggles my mind that it's something that
Wait,
so
was
many
the
people
car
can so easily
well
get.
thought out, as in like how they designed it, or was it well thought out, like the amount of research he put into it?
It's
No,
my
the
dad. Who
car
the hell
itself
knows?
is like designed well.
Oh,
We also have our Patreon question. If you want to learn more about the Patreon, go to patreon.com/GoNintendo. It is the way because he hates it.
I hate it.
Number one, remember these are rapid fire. What's the last movie you saw?
I gotta think of a name. Oh, I can't remember the name.
What was the movie night movie this week?
No, I've watched something since then.
This is rapid fire.
Yeah, and if I can't,
Okay. Tanuki Leaf
words
or
out-
Cat Bell?
I guess Tanuki Leaf.
What?
Power. Courage.
Anchovies?
No.
Okay. Do you have an answer for the first one? Last movie you saw?
No. come up
Okay,
with
excellent.
something.
Kirby, if the Triforce wasn't made of triangles, what shape would it be?
Oh, I remember.
Rectangles.
Spaghetti or fettuccine?
Which one's fettuccine? There's spaghetti.
Flat. Like
What is Sakurai's favorite food?
I don't know. Sushi.
That's not
Which Star Fox character would you want to be friends with?
Peppy.
That's the right answer.
Thank you.
Best type of bread?
I don't know, the crusty kind.
Mombrain. Hot chocolate with or without cinnamon?
with
NES, Super Nintendo, or N64?
NES.
Favorite Mario Kart track? Oh boy.
Rainbow Road.
Very good. Shout outs to Ella Wolf.
Is that a question?
Give him a shout out.
Ella Wolf. Let me give you a little shout out here. Ready? Oh.
Whoa. In honor of Shakira. Best punctuation mark.
Exclamation point.
Okay, I didn't read the next ones. As to be fair.
I thought it was
Rami,
the movie I watched.
rate your sleep schedule out of 10.
2.
Ring Fit or Brain Age?
Brain age.
What does a Zelda Fairy tonic taste like?
I thought apples. That's what I thought.
Best fruit juice?
Does Ecto Cooler count?
Sure.
Okay.
And we all know the answer to this one. Have you licked a Switch cartridge?
Yes, I have. You can see a video of it. Nikki Hill, your movie.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I'm halfway through. I lost
care.
my body.
There we go. Oh, what do you think of that?
I'm enjoying it, but I wanted to finish it.
Thank you, Autumnal Blake. That's always fun. That's always fun for me. Kirby, you did an excellent job. I know
Yeah,
you're not one to.
I did better than the last time we did this.
You're not one to enjoy those type of rapid fire question rounds either, but you did a great job. All right.
And I'm just not good at them because my
Steal that
brain
cord.
needs to
May I have
process
that, please, Kirby?
the question.
We have music trivia. Send your music to gnpodcastmusic@gmail.com. gnpodcastmusic@gmail.com, because if you don't send in music, then we can't do music trivia.
Then we don't got squat to play.
So yeah, as long as it's
music. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Oh.
Is that what I sound like?
as long as it's on a Nintendo system some way, shape, or form. Hello, Solid Master Link. I don't know how long you've been in here. I just saw you now. Yes. Thanks for joining us. Whatever.
Solid loaves.
Let's go. Thank you, Autumnal Blake.
Okay, folks. This one's from, actually, funny you should say it, Autumnal Blake.
This is Zelda, right?
Yes, you're allowed to guess in the chat.
It's Triforce Heroes.
Sure is. Great job. That was from Autumnal Blake, and it was Triforce Heroes. This one is from Retro Fire.
Thanks, Retro Fire. I know this.
Is it a Fire Emblem?
No.
Oh, yes.
Bayonetta.
I like it.
Sure, it's not
Golden Sun.
It's familiar.
Yeah, you probably played it.
Pokemon.
Nah.
Yeah, it's very familiar.
Dragon Quest.
It's not Zelda.
Mhm.
Is it first party?
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know. Wait,
Octopath Traveler.
Oh no.
good guess. We don't know. Go ahead.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Castle Crashers remastered.
Oh, I haven't
Really?
played that in forever. Yeah, Castle Crashers. I didn't play remastered.
This one comes from Wired.
1980X.
What system?
I think Switch.
Fight Club movie soundtrack.
I really have nothing to guess at all.
Wrong. I think you played this game.
Play a lot of games.
N plus.
No.
We don't know.
My friend Pedro.
Oh, I played that.
Do you remember that song?
Is
I don't
Pedro-
remember it.
I don't remember anything.
No longer
I
your
don't remember what I
friend.
had for lunch today.
Guys, Autumnal Blake wanted to know if we could get some freestyle rap over this, though.
My name is Pedro and I love bananas. Come play my game because my game is bananas. There you go.
Thank you, everyone. I think that's it for this week. The next little
It's very cute.
song that your
Thanks.
friends here are never
Very
going to be able to
cool.
guess
Very cute.
is from Freddie Frau.
Okay, it's a portable. Right?
It's a menu screen.
It's
of some
not a
sort.
portable.
What is it?
I have Switch.
Okay.
Is it from a menu screen?
Autumnal Blake, you are right in like 3 seconds.
It's got a puzzle vibe to it. Oh, I've hit on something. Puzzle game, Switch. Well, there's. It's not first party, correct? No,
It's
not. It sounds portable to me. Why
Well,
would it
I
sound
mean-
portable?
Is it
Right.
Pushmo or Crashmo?
Not
No.
first party.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that part.
What puzzle games? All right, I feel confident in saying it's a Picross game.
It is first party, kind of.
S.
Yeah. Picross S.
I'll take it.
Picross.
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 Is that like 3 S's?
It would be
It would be 3
yeah.
S's. Yes.
It was Picross from Freddie Fro. And staying
Picross.
in the Fred vein, here comes one from Fred McNanner.
Fred Vane, yeah.
There's a little note that I have to attach.
Sound more licensed if it wanted. This has to be that guy. This sounds like that guy to me.
The silver
Yeah.
guy?
The ISP is bugging out again, according to Cumulative.
No.
What?
Oh, is it Jurassic Park?
It's got to be you. Yeah. Stop playing the song.
It's not Jurassic Park.
Why did you hesitate?
Because I'm doing like 8 things at the same time.
Is it licensed?
I don't know.
Go ahead, play. It's that guy. He only works with license.
Froyukin says it's not Tom Holland.
Oh.
Tim Holland.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, maybe this. I mean, it's counted as a no, but well, I'll just tell you anyway. It's Turok. And Fred McNanner left a note that said, "If only Lube was here for this submission, play it in memory of him."
Technically, I guess it's licensed because Turok existed before video games, so that would make it licensed. But that must have what the Game Boy Color or something.
Yes, Game Boy Color.
Okay. I was like, yeah, I didn't know there was a Game Boy
It's
Color.
a hell of a
version.
song.
This little ditty that we are about to receive comes to us from Jess I.
RPG.
Yes.
Portable.
Yes.
DS.
Yes.
All right, boys, I've done my part.
That is quite correct.
Phoenix Wright.
Sounded a little like the Undertaker there for a second.
It's not first party.
I'm not sure.
Okay, then it's Golden Sun.
It is.
Thank you for your hesitation. Golden Sun, whatever it was called.
Dork Dawn.
Dork Dawn.
Golden Sun Dork Dawn.
Golden Sun Dork Dawn.
Yeah, it was Golden Sun Dark Dawn. And that was from Jess I. Mikey3319 is out of town right now, but did not forget to send us a song.
I got it. Now, I never played this, but I've listened to the soundtrack. I'm going to guess that it's Crystallis.
Yeah.
It's a game I always have meant to play. Never played.
A nice tune. That was Crystallis from Mikey3319. And now we are on to a song from Steister.
Okay. I'm okay. My powers of deduction. This reminds me of Journey, but Journey is not on a Nintendo system. What is a game that's on a Nintendo system that has music like Journey? And the answer is not Rhyme. My guess is Abzu.
That is correct.
Man, I wish I liked that game more.
Is it the same company that did Journey?
No. Very gorgeous game.
What is Abzu?
Underwater creatures.
It's a bunch
You
of
swim
creepy looking
around. You're
fish.
like a swimmer guy.
A diver.
It's a gorgeous game. It has a phenomenal soundtrack, but it just didn't hit me emotionally like I wanted to. One part did,
It
but
didn't hit.
most of the game didn't. Hits different.
The next song that we are going to play is a nice little song that has been sent to us by our friend Jet Jaguar.
Focus all attacks.
Hope you're all enjoying this section of the podcast.
I wasn't until you started doing this. Game Boy Battletoads. I was just watching the new trailer, or the latest trailer for the new Battletoads. I don't know how I feel about it. I hope it's good. I'm a little worried.
I've loved
Okay,
thousands of hours listening to Master.
Beep, ba, ba, do, ba, da. Beep, beep, beep.
Podcast enjoyable.
Please don't do this again. This NPR thing is driving me nuts. Give me Shock Jock.
Booyah! We got one more song coming to you people from down the road. Listen up, you a-hole!
I don't know about that.
No.
That was
Brr, 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 brr. This one comes from Reginilla.
Tron the movie, the game.
No. Weenie in the butt.
Weenie in the butt. Weenie in the butt. Battles, but I know it's not that game.
Sounds like my
Ori? Turn it down a little bit. I know this.
I like it a lot.
Oh, it's Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah.
Risk of Rain or Risk of Rain 2. Yeah, baby.
So,
I did play that.
Oh, really? I
just
thought
waiting
you
on
were
the score
you
to
wanted
come
us
in
all to
from our buddy
download it.
Cumulative.
I did, yeah.
I think you got 7 out of 10.
Well, Mom, right now we know the weak point for the internet is your computer, without a doubt.
Well, buy me a new one.
Buy me Bone Storm or go to hell. I'm trying to think of what we could do. I mean, there's things I could do, but I don't know if you could do them. Like,
Well, I can't do cartwheels, so don't ask.
if you did the music beforehand.
Oh my god. This sounds like a racket.
Yeah, you could just download the songs. That'd be way easier.
Oh, I can't download anything on this piece.
What do you mean? Why not?
I mean,
Well, we will discuss this in the
she's
after show.
chugging.
Thanks so much for watching and listening. I'm glad the live stream made it through another one, although it sounds like there were some tough moments there.
Oh, thanks.
Birthday is over.
I know, but we had to commemorate it.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. If you I'll talk to you about it after show. There's things we could do. I don't know why. Well, you're loading like how many YouTube videos at once, though? You're
It depends.
loading
Like
10,
up
right?
to 10.
Yeah, so I could see why that would make a serious dent. There's things we can do. Yeah. You know what we could do? I have YouTube Premium, which lets you down. So you could just download them.
Sure.
And then you wouldn't need the internet to play them. That's a solution.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Come on, Brain, how you doing? Oh, we got to look at the camera. Okay. What are you listening to over there?
I'm watching the Battletoads trailer.
Oh. Smooth jizz. The next slide. It's the biggest news of the week. Anytime I get a chance to talk about Cisco, you can bet I'm going to do that. Malik Halo says Autumnal Blake took a picture before we did our pose.
Whoops.
And I was thinking
Cursed images.
Blurst.
Final Destination. I was thinking like you're the only one that's safe, so we're all gonna die somehow, but you're good. Yes, guys, thanks for watching live. If you make the time to come in there and do this, I really appreciate it. Or you watch the archive version later. Thanks. I didn't realize how many people like watching the archive. All get together and go see Sonic before the podcast.
As a Valentine's Day.
In robes. Let's all wear robes.
Sonic robes. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Well, let me